Koso I nei that's why a jinamo den or February or double simimo. Yeda or dirty the atre afofro. Wo share live on Facebook and YouTube by a neat 100.9 FM live and YouTube so despite media. Your WhatsApp line is your activity at 0503721744. 0503721744. Production crew Joe Damian Jerry or say Ajuma Fremana na Yausafo. Wadaroma ena ewie wo bomichi dom. Ema me de dwumade aba. Me de ho chia me free sabre ko se no 9 ebebo. Na no 9 ebo nso so a olama ke beje adwa. No agye nyina tata de akofie. No nsia pepepe ye de no nsia kase bono ebeba for peace 104.3. Me show on cry a way as a kaiser, one more would do who baba or more air will be as an asabrabomono. Sa pepe and I will be in a yanasa, sa subani be an abetan ye. A nipa would do who baba one more air abrabomono. I would do who a boni papa, nipa and yem ye, nipa sabi tufo, nipa o can quanshan some, nipa o bon homo den, nipa and any bread juma. Sabi pepe and also is sooner ye be who a woman. Kwa na obeto akoso ewa brabom bibi eni hono mu ane yebe yi wani ha ne yebe ya oyada empo se wunya mfa so bi amfiri so wonim se ebeboa wo kwan bi so osuahu no emu etu ba yire wo ho no waye no waye ne yie etu de bo ho bo obi a nani bra dwuma obi onyansafo obi onim kasapa eka obi asabe odwene nipa ho a sa su ni bi nso so ebedadi wo wabrabom Sanso na sa wodo ho ebo sebe obi anadwene wo fom obi a onhye kran obi odi nkrofo ho konkonsa obi a sebe akwadworo afro no ahye ne ma. Your guess is as good as mine. Na bribia so de wo nyini wa brabom no na wo ne ma bebre esesa ebra na wo 15 years na wo ne ma no wani je ho wo ne ma na wo pe namfo na wo pe wo benya 20 years ne ma sesan ye e wo namfo na wo pe e wo ne ma no wani je ho e wo nkomo na wadi je ho se obebo ena wonya from 30 air conso so a one near ma wo pe ena fe namfo a wo pe ene nkomo a wo pe from the age of 35 to 45 and also so e one near ma wani je ho near ma wo pe ne nkomo a wutimi die ene adwuma a wo pe now from the age of 45 e kona ho na hunu say na 40 years e kona e ho na wo hunu near ma bebre ma hunu say near ma weni we amri bi atwa me ye no Ian from Swapa says I bring me Jimmy papa. Nadia Bakwaya na Nikana Asare ho and say, well, now for be no more one woman, I'm Yan woman Peso Bessasa. Nadianka what Tiano from class 1. Tang was ye. Onipe Biara said ya would say a free chassis, a bepim sabre that I'm now about 15 years. And near my said you see your near my son at 35 years. Son at tia or problem. The son at tia or problem seek counseling. Sans sayane ba wo na fu binum empene so sa wo besesa e binum wo epese tede enkom no tie no san na wo se kono san na wo se ba no debi eye ni pesu. Change is the only thing that is constant. Abrabom niema se sabri bia enti na mpanyibu baby say emre dane a won so dane ho be it is emre dane na said ye wo tie no saa na wo da so tie a menua na akaw kakra enti media wiai mehye nkran ese tokoso koso abrabom nyini wa abrabom mensesan ye bebre emra wa abrabom afa obedru baabi no ho say yes, be drew sa stage where ya Mrs. San near my way mono, a bedrew sabre, a boa me pa. Said the son and come, said the Nametiano, Sana, Medaso Tia Bepim Sabre and Kabian, Queni Mubu Honomoa, and Kake Chiamame. Etiminia, and Sasanya, dear, change is good. Also, change in a positive way. Ma and Sasanya and Sakraya pa. ye de eniema pa bebo abrabom e de wobeko animu ama eniema koyie de ama in a positive sense no eno na mefo so ate se bibi kura betwam na se bi eno ne ebeye negative wa eno no ye lesson e de ma ewe zafe no ade afidie na to anu ma meka wo se me 90 and wasungu a wotie ha ye neat 100.9 ye worship house e wo Abeka Junction enkran Medin ede MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO betimi afrem biamzi 1 me na meti djumadi ho chama evi sabre ko se no 9 ebebo edi evi sabre ekwe odofo ene me mom enye me da me ho kakra bi na me ba ebeti
We cannot, as Africans, keep on lamenting, because the problem with us Africans also is that we are prisoners of sorrows and lamentation. So we say, oh, God, let's not allow God to enter into these things which we can do ourselves. God is very busy with very serious issues upstairs. He has given us minds and hearts, and we had better use them, because the divine instruction is to go and subdue the world. On our part, we have allowed the world to subdue us. Then we are complaining, God, you know, and Pastor, you are here. There are certain things that can only be solved by hard work and logic, and yet we think they can be solved by prayer and fasting. That will not happen. So my own view is we must begin to do things for ourselves. If the land needs to be worked, we must work the land. And we cannot continue to work the land the way Abraham used to work the land with the plows. We've got to mechanize. If, as people say, if Africa did not benefit from the first industrial revolution, we must benefit from the first industrial revolution. And you know, in these matters, these very serious matters, nobody invites you. You invite yourself to the dinner table. Yeah. And you get crushed the dinner table. Yeah. So that you are noticed. You know, right now, many Africans, and I say this because people are on top of the dinner table eating silent steak and caviar, and we are under the table fighting over crumbs. This is what is happening. When you see black on black violence, it is essentially, what are we fighting for? Crumbs. Crumbs. The real meal is on the table. That is where we should be. That is where the good. But you see the problem, when you are under the table, you cannot see what is on the table. You only see the bottom of the table. And therefore, the only thing you can see are the crumbs that have dropped. And I'm suggesting to us, particularly we in the political class, deliberate efforts must be made.
Asumdwe yetunyum asumdwe hini wanani asumdwe hini wanani asumdwe hini Jesus Christ onenia yena asumdwe hini only Jesus, and you dare insult my Jesus Christ. Now we say 2020 they had no evidence, but the same as you say mofakutupa so mkoshi tai moeka kakabensem now the okamai united say they had no evidence and they just went and wasted everybody's time at the Supreme Court. What this young man is saying, said national secretary who says it's not true, and so until until the party comes to distance itself from what the young man said. I believe what he has said, but I also believe in the capacity of the Ghana Police Service to deal drastically with him. And you see, and he also mentioned the former president in it, John Mahama. The Mahama ni epe to me amano. Akwendi aso mbepe to me, edi ama John Mahama no. Omebe pass to me no. Is that why no? Former President Mahama, are you behind this? Is this what you want to do to get political power just for 4 years? So, Pius, these are the issues. Unacceptable. It's condemnable. And yet NDC ni NDC our president must be anima Ghana for SND to me my from opposition. The fact one when you first there. Well, he said nimpedi for naka and not me atamos edi enemy opposition. And now me manage communication. All is the kind of them who born dog. Only why say who your NDC ni now be cast as same way. On can me bar out and come them watch it. And can flag better and can bar out come them watch it. It is the former president who pay to me and away now the beba. Mse nyankopon on pe efficienti. Ube den so your hini so your so penny so your former president, so your current president, say ene sebe we uton ice water uton kusia obia one vote vote by force baby obia peno and obe vote yako ni also on vote so abai ntino and the vote is secret or ballot box no the obe no babo ntia so obe ni ho. So what are we doing? You want power, no problem, craft messages, go to Ghanaians ya ye bi pen ya nye ni ye ye nim say ya nye ni ye ya pamocho mo fan chen ye ba weni ye besa ye bi. Is it difficult to do? Ma nye ni ye Mika send me a joyful, but also there be another own patch. But dolly, Obesaba, and Jenko Kunipa, near Mojangu. Well, police needs to therefore,
it is true. We've issued a letter from headquarters signed by the General Secretary, the new General Secretary, Honorable Fifi Fiavi, communicating formally to Mr. Speaker changes that we have made in our front line in Parliament. That is indeed true. And the new changes will bring on board Dr. Kesela Tuforsen as the new minority leader.
I was young for 100.9 and I was so egua Utiana Sabre, Yeshe Yembrenoa, Donko Abapon Sima, Edrianai, Yakwa Maso, na Yakwa Kudi, and Komakakra. Now what you yamu in Yakrata, Yakwasia Danoa, Adia Betche, Edwada. In your crata, if we don't come, I want my shabby fee. Ah, one more casse. One more share and a swap for from and penny abu womudino. One more barber share one. I resign and nemonia deno. One more share one more annual, one more antumo. Tasse me, a didi the hunkomwa, now so beside Adomosukobio, na yene Dr. Benjamin Ochiri Ankra or your corporate governance lecturer at Central University. No edi ehon enkomodoka wiei ye mwakwa baba Nit FM so na mpom te sen
ami adom na poswe
adomara kwa ye ho ye pa dok we di wiei boko wo hwe krata ye free NDC awomo ewo mrahye bedwafie ba ye se womo hwe na new ministers ayapa womo se womo mra mefa dibia hodo meboa ma o men chichire enkoso ma ye nyi womo ntum esan se aban no hwe nipa dodo ode wo mu bu o man na wo mo doso dodo e kai mene ye niema bi ho no me wo sa aban na aya so brache na osu wo mfidi a wo mo nso kwan a wo mo efa so nie se ne be ya aban no ebetie wo mo ne usu sa kwan wei ye kwan ba ko a ye betimi afa so amma aban no we reduce the size of the government.
Yo me that it get beautiful. No kro wo mi say ye do bi ko emerging the yoma or oni wo say ne pe and man for ya e fa o man no ko na ye den bi ho a ini pa na o ya mi na se be on kona onko si manan so you are a representative the good time na se so ko ya juma wan ya because the line for abama and don't think of one. There's one for year you matter. Number the first one. In the only hotel or Muangata and Omoye service. In Omutina Oma, that's more so Munkoya do my man. ANT. What they are not to say. I say, dead, and I say, Yako to Pipa Anon. If I swap them, and I say, my Manu. The year can say, so if you are or what would be that can certificate ni ade ni na ye eso so the person who say assembly and na no bi see nyama mienu o ha no nya kwan asomo man ne pen ya wa ye pen no obi sa ho say nyama e ko yie say nyama e to chima e be bi sa ho say if you are no one nya kwan anyiwa no so ha e twa so e do samre ya ani kema o kwan otumi eyi wa no say so ampa asebo ya nkofo pa no say no kre obi anu to ania e pani so say ye ma o kwan ma o be ye asoafo a then na be ye ani mi bed wo enti say ye kwakoye say na etite eyi nipa a won se pata mo ma beso na wo see na wo manfo na omo nko nkodi ana e ba ne sa na anko yi mo kan say o bua with the person omo wi a two time aye to omo so aba omo mpre me ye nyomo in terms of numbers yeah na so mo won numbers di a na ka say ye to aba na dan to amom kan so be di nipa no ont me ye na so because omo ni numbers no mo kan omo ankasa nim say entumi ye aduma enye the first emum say wo bi people fry ye be ye ni you know ma na so afọ ye nipa ne dọọso kwampa nti ehon ko na nipa ne dọọso ana several places find betumi amana akọhọ ka say enoso nipa ne so nipa ne dọọso nti ye nti so ye koteso nipa ba ko e ka ne ye ball no ne betumi dia patita bo me yensa asa nan omotumi akọkira ade o na anka beboa but ade na wo ye no be bi sound say what is the effect, what to be the impact so ye na esu ebesi na wo fe dia ene yanka be cause no aye na say entumi ba ne wo pe ne mmadia na say na wo ye no aso bi ani mekan ya to man ni bi a ye le ko then patent go ketie ni na ye ko to aba ipa say it was 130 yeah 130 ye to aba ni ye kan nipa dodo de a betun aba say nipa no ebia omo to so say ne di enim say e papa ya me so aboti dodo no kakra kontumi amma mraje beju na say adwasafo so enim mraje beju kana enkonko ye numbers betun apai and so yen twani yen hwe nia edu abato no beko
nice
pa echa ban no nia the nipa no so yen nipa but ekwan on be so am the possible omum konyansusa that is my
oh okay nice we no kra na nka hu hia se sakra to ni di kan ke so omotro
there be
ana sempo no mo betro a ene na nka minority no abstain totally from the vetting
all to ya all to na ene ma mienu ene mdi ohun e course so omo ma ye aduma pen honorable na champion emre bi na o ye aduma sei de NC honorable KD am emre bi na o ye aduma de ni de NC ezi adi ma kwan ma obedi akonya na be dey na ye woni so na mo ye sa aduma nyina awia na se ba be take it say ye wi e de wo nipa no say e ma na be ye oswani enti wo wanya ye awie wo ba tro na wo ti tum se nipa no se pata na so wo nkonkoto aba
eti dog ya kan say ye be gidi say asasem we aban no nipa dodo a woni wo mu bu oman no wo mo doso te so enipa bebre corporate institutions ahodo afre ene ade aka ho asem a nanso ase still no ababi aban no egina na ogina ususu se edie poten na wo sa aban no timi ye na nipa dodo a anase nipa ebia wafo no mo ye adwuma abroso no obetimi ate won so nipa no ankasa as individuals eni enyi won anasa katua ne entete so ambe na aban no mfaso
ye wo mra ye di adwuma ebe wo akatua so wo te so no di a yesu ye nipa wo a cost of living the ekwan a nipa no fa de bole bra no akatua ne na ma no kwan adwuma no wo he me teacher ne bia me kom krom fa mi enu pe ne bedi enokra be ya busia bia ye emum nipa ne nkankan se o ye mp and I can't point to me on the chrome na on konanto on ba meka se me ko e sebe sika bi afim ko enye adwuma omo ye party for omo ye party for omo nyina beka se eto enti se sika se wo de ma no no odi bi ye na adwuma and okoso a wo je ti abon ho bra na sa wo se wo beti so a wo hye nipa no wo hye no ka no de wo beti so formally dem informally no o kwan o faso a betumi asanye sika ne ba the papa mu no wo beti na obi ka se wo na MP e yusu 4x4 minister yusu 4x4 yusu yenti ase ni san kokon nya adwuma wo mo nya adwene akadie bi a nipa ni hia so de ye adwuma say 4x4 na sebi obi lafi kalio people wiaga na so ye MP a betumi de talunka every ho abada bia akọ otumi nti V8 no betumi de aye adwuma yampama nipa no do say me ne so say ana me ditum say yamma V8 no say nipa no 100 now it's about nipa 70. There's some savings because V8 it comes with its cost maintenance well driver any near kwa benya the nipa no eso tika ultimately no aban na nkasa tika adwuma no and also better anka ye tika no fo ya service there dey yet be afa for ye adwuma ne sa afo no ya adwene say ye nti numbers no so but there ano kakra ohia no ye adwuma afa dia mora say adwuma me ye na minya ya ti be pay so a na me 2 point na menya allowance ya any anka first na nka be 2 point bienu afi me 2 point edu can was for for the effect will not be felt that to reduce balance.
Okay, we ebedwa se. I was here for Dr. Benjamin Ochiri Ankra, a corporate governance lecturer at Central University. And OTC and no ebo and common neat 100.9 and I was so egua utieno yetwa and common eso ewo fidye emo e kanfo e dia amount se yehwe yembre no a na chese donko abapa onsima aduonum na ye ba betwa so na yetimi abo enkomo me basisi a
Taasika sabno akwaya womanim womasua ho asem kase ndijeza wansua womane kase na se ye kasa asika sabno a wote ho a ayasa de wonnim na ekoso wo mamu ha nti ye hu se ya na kasa ya ba adwen papa woni ompanifo efa no menuanom sese sabri abeyi a ke be kai wo se wo technical men panimfo a womo asua sa adwumadi mu yie anka bri wo mu a kamgya womo kwan na womo aba region no mu regions no na bia anasem bia ehia se efise ya tese IMFC yantoto ye ne mayie wo fie ansa na womo boayen a womo aboayen we kire se ye man no asase ye nso yete ase na ye hu ni se entiase no enyanko fom papa
Abusianfo 100.9 and was so egua utie no na ye ba be bon komo kakra e wo fidwe mu ansa na nkomo twetwe no ankasa ne ano baba ye no yetimi e de atwa so e wa hasei sabre yi eba studios a menua be ma Solomon Nkansa oye director of operations e wo Dr. Kwabena Dufo the camp Dr. Kwabena Dufo kanena oye omen ye photo samfo afei na osanso ye governor e wo Bank of Ghana onye ni patwa tese so na ni abrese kodom ese NDC Frank Atuni di breno wono babehwiri na waba abeje enti ne director of operations wa ha Solomon Kansa ya ene no ebebo enkomo kakra dia fa Dr. Kwabena Dufo ne campo ehonsen na campaign ade esi ko solo mahan
yania
ne pom te say
nyame adum
afenhia panso
afen commission afde na nyame adum nyama e fine na candidate DKM
100.9
ma kosu na ya wo ma media so
ye hu wache where have you been in misunderstand
mami dama ye wi diploma e papa ba eba be sha ha na me bank krakra na time me wi adwuma as national communication 18
okay
and I me call and I me da ye adwuma or party mo akoy
okay
and I me samba biom akọ asenim dane an atini an enyoma ye a Ghana for pen amom ndisi so yansiesie ye hu ye a edi agro ayifukun no beba obo obetwem
Idi ye send this munyina ye.
Bomin Samran na yenko. Kasa DKD. Mpresa.
DKD.
Penny di penny.
DKD.
Penny ni fiadie.
DKD.
Obi ase ono a.
Tawo.
DKD e doctor Kobna for.
Wow. Uji de send this munyina ye. Den na munyina ye.
Odi kan no. Memfa nchi akese ma omo a wotie. Amin sansun ya nchi a one ma wotie wo ntan fidie ahodo a wo na. Amin san nkai NDC ma wo beto aba. Oye branch executive. Oye almost 97% or 8% of the delegates. Na yemfa nchi ama NDC leading members no bibia wa fa se obehwe ma NDC kanko na mpuntuo abamu. Mami ayi NDC ngina yi sanse NDC akwa kansie ebie na yadi nkugu. Oba ko school no nya F 2 times a on kan chensa no waya. But F be so one ma fail be o nya D7. Atmosphere like 20. But still there's room for what? Now, Tawusha NDC party no. Nkofobia onunti okra adwin bi ode yi won sinchen na Dr. Kobna Dufo be fa NDC abendwa no ode yanko anim etrimude anamontuo bi won nkofobia won se oh NDC frankatuni dada ne de ono oye popular chen obi a chen even the NDC te oba sa adwuma ye nkoso
Anya sa na tie.
Anya dem not NDC ye popular chen obi a wo NDC so anya sa nke yendu san pempen so sa nimpa na waka na sa me do fa kontambo hihye mu a friend statistics uba won say 2020 kra no NDC for nkwa 118 parliamentary candidate and omo win here wotu no a vote a wonya ye no say ye de ka ono ne de anwa anka ye be ko run off antu won sa adwen ne fa ntena NDC ni mu usan so hwe se ye ba ko congress na odikan no ye offense reorganization was NDC mpenfo bia ne mboa de ba na Dr. Dufo de ababum anti ye ko congress no we ne se wo bi wo ka ko Canada fo aka se obafa ka ni nyina anti wasin de candidate dada no ono why ye fundraising say Ghana for 500,000 one man 10 cedis. Yeah, we are 21% of the expected revenue. Ohanchemu eduonu.
Eno no mo wie anase still that's so running.
Minim, but the mention say send ye the year fan ye the year congress. That mass. Now, who sounds so the tone ya? And this na your World Bank. Only Porter region. Second World Bank, no only the then northern region and the Yachemu Miasa. Yenya Northeast, Savannah, and the northern Anka. And then we know Kase. Northern region Ankasano. MP before war MPs and Kono. NDC for Yawan Kono. Northeast, MP before 9. NDC for Yawmienu. Savannah, young candidate free. MP before Miensa. NDC Yawan 9. Ukaboma NDC yede 15 MP4 dey 16 wa betu ye wo hwe abanso a yehun faso yede beto aba ibedi beka ye ka ho ni ate asantmentrum kafiri won so MP4 soro an wa den woko anti satem na popular no one man
Idi NDC for na dwene mu
anya NDC for no no leadership enamo bese ya ofinitiri anti we training free now the travel from basis so sa dwendwene ma ye be ye dwumaden ye dinkunim and this do so chen MPP but sense one man one ni akodare mu awa abatuo mu ni ade na wa twa ta candidate no ahia no one akọ abatuo nkugo historical abakosemu party bia no wa abamu a wadi nkugo to say NDC yenkugo a yedi 2016
nanyi ni sasa abre na Ghana for nwafu Ghana
oh na 2000 election na ye ho afro Ghana for pa ye call run off party asia MP before 2 NDC just 6 MPs enya 94 one wonya 100 and the remaining 6 no oye akudibila Freddy Blay num ni ade won ko kan ho ma ban no ye den o de form ma anti sa oya no montro bi
enti at this time no on say nipa miensa and o mayi o mati e wo NDC amayoko no former president John Mahama Dr. Kwabena Dufo and former Kumasi mayor Irakojo Bonsu and nipa miensa and na for now o mayi o manim say on person be pre frank to ni chances ben pa na wugidi say Dr. Kwabena Dufo
owo chance pa na ehun bi my friend communist inferior tactics CIT ayedi share party ma wo enyambre ye kasa de a chance ohun bi ani wo
one dey hu ni share party for no
campaign hu oh we candidate ya okọ 2020 ni free wa NDC belusu no krenim NDC ye gina 44% ye the biggest party in West Africa party masia and ye de ye obi obaba odi ohanchemu enum na fa na se nsia odi abeka ho na obi a Ghana fo ehunu so ye mampani so ye den no onye ndisi asa nipa no onya sa akonya no onu nti branch ni mentie die nkofo ka cho ne se o obi ho a MP fo nim se sa nimpa ya okonda nanu onu oba obedi nkugo nti wode sa nipa ne ba what if there sa nipa no so o ka kire no so when this ni mo mpese ye bedi nkunim that's when him say bu sa nipa ye de no kwa be sa di ntwo enti onu so de o ka no because party politics ye onkofo a wonu te a o pese tena opposition ba no odidi wo aban mu wo ho anti obia na adwene se o hwe ma design me podcast method bi amedi ye adwuma community crowd over the population in the community na di behu wo strength anti se o candidate ko malata na malata market ni mu ye todo ni pe bebre ba na wo wie na so onu nti madi nkunim a wo ba fa the voter register of malata area ho no na wo ba hwe nimpa na wo ba ho no na wo ba hu se nimpa na wo ba wo do bom be ye edu ansa na wo aduru malata population no anti woma wutrim ya ode na wan ye campaign wan to anamo ye a wo opponent so nimpa na wo ba no dia yem hihye bebre no na boko akofa voter register no na wa ye djuma wo mu na sa abato mreso a wa say design election day strategy or the be pull people to go and vote for him a ye beto abawo we now wadi ntwo wa sem na obeka nsi ya wiem anhwe so na nya wiem na wo opponent na okita superior organizational strategy akoso ni say party bia now we ndin pa ne branches me when this mu for 24 years from constituency to national sana me ko contest organizer madincho NDC MP kakrebi abesin kwen ana NDC yan won kekan e form wako form because there is no any strategy or governance the branches to work hard.
Yes, sure.
Then I make a channel. Mad the regional youth organizer, acting and substantive. Made the deputy propaganda, acting propaganda and national communication. And I make a choice. Say, Yaja ye bibia na yen concentration. Ako ka yewo radio station, yewo Facebook, yewo WhatsApp. That is why Dr. Dufo Tenase no say no. I didn't know a problem no. You conduct research in you say the branches nankasa one kasa wanya well resource. At the same time to be able to organize meeting or a financial burden until you fa ahonto project in there. Ya fambra. Na branch no oni nkunya no. Constituency local ha wodi nkunya kwa obey meeting. why a community rally we ka kof kai PA system yamo PA system so that obetum na wodi aye community rally oya ni baby ji canopy yamo 4 set of just to trigger party organization.
And so when hotel projects no men yin say mo de sa na nyina ma so that they rent it out.
They sometimes rent it out. They also use it to do party work.
Okay.
Mostly branch in your onisika and the win ye year and now to badin and now who your program ya. Oko high PR and yeah 800 to 1,000 a day. Branch in your word the bad nature on yashi. The party decided to put the man. Yeah. Party the man. Any gem banify. Onunti nimpa onya kakaba obema oneno. No china onya kesia.
So far, how far is a hunter project?
A hunter project is on course.
Where we are now.
Yeah, guso.
Branches
roll out.
How many branches?
So far, almost 80 and over constituency. Yeah, branches. Yeah, them a constituency. Okay. Then the branch will assess it. And a constituency now so also betum wa rent. Wa ye na no so we nyaska. Obi no kan. Odi bi akoboa no.
Constituency bi ammo ma hen.
Yeah, more 4 set of canopies. 100 chairs. Now 1 set of.
Sir.
Oh. I didn't catch so once in ono di biaba. Tell so bisu di be back on. Na ye koyenim. Because one di president. What the finance minister? And what chain and we hu di okwe. Mamen kan che me nua otie me say. And the MP before what to me dwawanum na ye na the youth employment by ye na the way by and this for mo dia wan. Papa inam John Mars and what the less dep by and the less dep way. What the yes deck by and the yes deck way. Ebetum na ya can be esi. And then this anymore. They announce say boot for boot. But then this year war afutuo bi a friend Heroes Fund. That time na minia no ye DC. Ashanti region 2008. Nankasa wantuma andani dem run off. Until ye be national executive, na me regional youth. Ye be national executive. Ye call tour of Ashanti. And ye ko hu hawa. Ashanti region before brim yanko for prepra bebre. And it was as a result of ta nyamo si Ashanti region no. And ye ka so si nya futuo bi ne de hwe. Party. Dr. Heroes Fund. And when yeah, build the party, yeah, build a club or society. Onunti, and this was here dinkunim, near dinkunim. On yes, here dinkunim near Santa Tepansan. Because Ghana for Joti Bia 2024, Ghana for be 2 MPP.
There was an issue be concerning a Yahoo project here. Now NDC as a party, say Dr. Dufo, and you say be a woman in Essence, he's part and parcel of them. In this initiative, be say yeah, and then offer MSH party in penny force so that the party will spearhead it instead of for no as an individual or no be to Sanamon. I don't want to manifest
a campaign project. And you launch here. Party no way program na waka say when yes car. Papa no this kind of man. Onu there or your party no only any project na papa na be donate. But onu na why saying why any project. No dey bem. Sans o person be the party nanim. And to also mo bia hu na sans ye chire mu in such a way say obi abeti ase say dia penin na obedi kuo nanim no na no montuo ni. They catch now. There. This year, the then northern region now. Yeah, strong. AKWAFO. Ashanti region. What to me ya? Vote. Pa. But what else work out pa? Now, say any candidate for Ashanti region. Their target is to cross our deficit. So the any marginal voter, Ashanti region go to take 7 regions. Will vote. Next now. Ya the car. What be that? So if a strategic candidate for Ashanti region liba NDC for yambone chidom yamfanenko. You can't be omni say candidate or your former president. What could be pen where deep man penny or your pension man penny. And this name was ye ni penny biara wo ho. JJ Runs oko. Atamers oko. Emisata oko. And you know nanka awesome party for any kasa no oye party ni mu abusia penny. Not enough you no di obia ye be yi nachiri. Na ni ndwuma a oye ye na oka. Na weli ka na chese obia hu ukwalata. Good luck Jonathan. Oh Lucy, I want to say why you need to so be contest bioma. Okay. Uko Abrochida oye America. After the assassination of John F. Kennedy, nimpa obedi ye no. Ono so wan den wan kobium. And it tells you there. Man penny mama nankasa unjagura ebumpo no on yampako. Ankofo bi fi se oniwa won woniwo. Party ne so anya for nkofo bi. Oye for party money now. We are building a political party. Oye the best in terms of delivery. Wagana. But onam ya no montuo nimpa kuma bi wa no montuo ubon se oba wampewa unye na hia ubi bia anya ne fe. Kind of vote at it. Mama onye obi ase before one year mpuntu djumo. Wo ye mpuntu djuma. But wosu manti kind of for to abetia. But wosu end this no. Wosu wan siesie ohun ye ya. Wosu wan siesie ohun ye ya. No be afre. Ana papa no wanyi.
Me ba baby sound post any age na beboa because they say Ghana for say wo ma so panyufo na hwente e wo pa youth.
Ghana for ya so panyufo.
Ambanye na ku for example.
Nti pani ba ko wetum dina ye research.
E bia
ya. Say ku for ba 62. Anambwa. Professor Mers ba 64. Can you say so ba as penny 64 no Ophelia? Now, me to NDC me party one Dr. Dufo nyaadwe me to mama wonfa age nye kan.
Dr. Dufo ni age nye sen.
Oh 80.
Wow.
Nta me ka dan che penny di den penny. Ebe hia no. Na wo hia na ana obohu say onye penny o ya brent. Yes. At 80. Wo hia na bohu so ya brent. Na Joe Biden we di ahin. Nancy Pelosi we di say. Unia bao 83 at the Congress. Atmosphere. Age is numbers. Age is state of mind. To nipa no na dwene wo na wondin obosipia. Dia no aka akwankyere. Mampeni oye mlikatuo.
Adwene.
Mampeni oye pikas no ni shavulo djuma. Mampeni ya akwankyere a ode ba maman no. Na yanhwe papa yi na akwankyere. Papa yi na obedi Finance Minister, Ghana, record Obian, Fourth Republic to First Republic. First, single-digit inflation, 32 months under John Mills. Second, foreign exchange, TD dollar depreciation. 4 years, 68 pesos. One CD. Before the giant, 1 CD 20 pesos. Or the core, 1 CD 88 pesos. Third, GDP growth. At the time I implement a single spine. The sign growing 14.5%, almost 15%. World highest growth, that's fastest growing economy.
As this is the time so end this more per economist. I mean, it's Dr. Dufo is the best.
Unawaka. Yes, you know, can that said. I have said. Say, baby, a Ghana yejina. Bibia akoye sikasem aban kuntambon to toye and a bibia. Papa no so oye juma IMF no. Ne people deliver is about African debt sustainability. Do basha or buy no. At a man's government no. Yanji Eurobond. 1. 2, but development cost. 3, salaries reforms. 1. 4, my the biggest international reserve 5.3 billion bepum de aban biala to me a record guy ye the board ye nwe dwa says sa trenchen bitu na ohaba ye behwe na ye de behwe man now ye hwe party ni anamontuo na oye obi a party hia the party headquarters abreso then is a finance minister on the president now what to anamo waji asase 20 acres oyibi opposite Valley View University nechiwo na oyendisi asase ohwe dia waka
mato
me say corner
ko na afa
dia sa me say free one na project no ayem pansan anamebwa. And we need leaders who think about the party. We need leaders who think about the ordinary party member. Share NDC branch ni. Yantu abama Dr. Dofo na obibia o NDC mu say. On to mu fire da chimfa ndi agro. Yantu abano fama Dr. Dofo na onu baby wadru no. Dia waka ne say obe ya dia ginidi na odi dia amansan de man no. Odi amansan back.
They say nomination ma pick it and they do.
You have a pick China. Yes, between China and few other mukul.
Okay. I mean, said dates no 22nd.
I saw China.
Monday
20th.
22nd throughout to Friday. 24th. Okay. China if you check on back up pick.
Uba won pick. Party for no baba pick.
More 500,000 plus
50,000. 500,000. Yeah, what then?
More 500,000 no, and 30,000.
So yeah, Dr. Dufo, and ordinary me here fundraising for NDC Congress. Nkaskani be budo.
Yes, sure.
Abasana mekan. Ghana's financial sector guru. Uti ya wini sana the biggest indigenous bank in Ghana, no a Unibanker. Winima. Have sector indigenous bank. Yes. Man kasa crab betuma peda Miss Canada. Now auto project umbro 5 million. Anti ebushafo penifo se do yan wa ndi echi. Aha ma baka say. Min kasa. E kasa batin ama oh. Ni baby ayem hihye bad menia. Nsɔhwɛ kura wo ye manhye wa wo bawe. Meboa. Okotron nsɔhwɛ na wo ye overconfidence about the people. You fail. I quite remember say 1989 na me obo ase. E ko triangle. Ana House of Folk. Na wa ne kotoko. Wo match okuma Wednesday. Ana Broadway that and radio Garden City
Radio.
And now, one answer say, as for say, one problem kakra or console. The house by no, but the was starting match. I asked where 10 and at 10 months, I could get red card. I got to lead the one. As for Emma Kumas, Okumbola, where Boo Honyago. Yeah, boss, underdog. No mom yasam na yede ba no NDC branch ni da be na NDC ba for say be the minister onye ye but o say NDC otumi na o ma wo da chi yeden o si ye o say man no si afa ne ye man ye a ni o ye party ni o no onye party ni obo say man no yeden o koso ye
On say me twa to solo
ma say mo twa so say ye be kwa abato Yabonyamem. Yabasra ni se yenyina yendi yehuni. Ewieye no yetu wia na okante. Akayo eno ne mentim wase. Yensan so yenkan hu se bibia ye bia no yenye se Ganafo weni so a. Because Ghana no oy 3 MPP NDC and then the independent Ghanaian on share party policies, on share behaviors, ɔhwɛ actions, ɔhwɛ plans and programs. No, we also ɔhwɛ the track record of the individuals. What say to Abamo? Yen to mufanden kan we ase asemina. Ametumu ndende e de dua party na ba wo. Egugu hunsuo na May 13th. That's what Abapa na wayemfa so amandisi.
Meda sipi Abrantia Solomon. DKD.
Penny di penny.
DKD.
Penny ni fiadue.
DKD.
Obiase ono.
Meda se Solomon and cancer and ote nenkano na obebo nkomo kakra edifa Dr. Kwabena before ene anamuntu apeso otu na obetu franka Emma NDC.
George's decision to enter politics and the battles and the advice that he ought not to enter politics. And it says from the last paragraph of page 223, says, when I decided to participate in active politics, someone who thought I was making a bad decision sent me what he called 10 reasons why politics was not good for me. To him, the things associated with active politics do not conform to my personality and my principles, and hence I should stay away from them. I reproduce his reasons just as he sent them to me. In politics, you must understand the following. 1, nobody has your interest. 2, everybody is chasing their interests. 3, dealing with politicians is like sleeping with tigers. You must always have your eyes wide open. 4, and this is one of my favorites. In any political equation, there's always someone being used. If you look around and you can't find that person, then it is you. 5, serving politicians is like a bandage on a wound. Once the wound is healed, your usefulness ends. 6, in politics, never will more than the bereaved. They will get the reward while you inherit their enemies. 7, in politics, in any event, if other interests conflict with your interests and you have to choose, always choose yours. Number 8, never cross oceans for politicians. You may drown. And it goes on and on. But then he concludes, and that is where the real lesson is. He says that as much as I understood the sentiments he raises in the above pointers, the question I ask myself is, if not me, then who?
Whether we like it or not, democracy is what we have allocated to ourselves. We therefore need people to take an active interest in it. It is unfortunate that how some politicians have conducted themselves over the years has probably given credence to these sentiments expressed earlier. And George goes on to say that we need to change these sentiments. The people must have belief in the system of government because that is the only way true development can occur. I was motivated to contribute my part in making politics attractive to people like me, and indeed to all Ghanaians, and to the best of my ability. That is exactly what I've tried to do ever since I became part of frontline politics in Ghana. While contesting for the Utu Senya West parliamentary seat, I prepared and shared my message with the voters, a copy of which is found in Appendix 1. I'm working hard to live by that message, hopefully with God on my side. The journey has not been easy, as I have stated. Nonetheless, I'm still soldiering on. I came into politics with my integrity intact, and I intend to keep it as such. The sad thing, though, is keeping your integrity is one of the most difficult things to do in Ghanaian politics. While I strive hard to serve and execute my duties with the best of intentions, some people would do it.
The best station in the capital, Need FM.
One zero 0.9.
Needs
Needs FM Neo. Needs FM.
the best station in the capital, Need FM.
100.9.
Needs.
Needs FM Neo.
The best station in the capital, Need FM.
Needs FM.
The best station in the capital, Need FM.
For Needs 100.9 and was so egua utie no sambre akasi mami no na no mienu apai mo pepe me manti and I was so egua utie and then some no de abode ewa ha sen nsɛm no epempem ho ankasa paa na computerized school selection placement system yi wo hwɛ ne efiri 2005 former president John Agyekum Kufuor de ba ye ɛho problems ne adea bepesa from 2000 soprano bajo no work here man between from 2005 up to today how many years ni afi bia ye wo challenge a system no na enya mayen anasa yen yankasa na yen hunu yen left from yen right me ba say 18 good afei Ghana and where you say alleged and Ghana
100.
Ghana to engage China for a possible debt cancellation because China for a holding majority of your external bonds, no. And Ghana and IMF say one more other countries, we say Ethiopia, Zambia, Chad, Lebanon, Sri Lanka, and other countries. Now, one more Eberhena, one more Eka, one more Diano, yetimi, Ede Church, one more Nasi, betimi at so Ede Ama one more. Reverend Kusibuatin defamation case here or file here against Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa and Neko to Fra Seminole Emma one more ashe Reverend Kusibuatin said a lawyer for say omo fa kwan papa so na one more and several Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa was kwan ya ofa so a was 7 no wan fa e kwan papa eso na yehwe not on constituency wo so agitwi ebe pie mu e wo court obetie ne ekoso eno danche anana mo ahemfe wo not on wo so do ma no aba betum bi esa aban ne hwe wamfa atemu adwuma ko no so na wanka owura Okujeto Ablakwa no antum saa niema we no no wenya first time ebisi a friend saying Ashanti region MPP yi crofobia omo ekobo Ashanti regional security friends coordinator ai ho nsem ba ye enipa agi twi kopie mo party agitafo ne ade kopie saa niema no etiminya sunsunso bo atemu no eso ana ye behwe ho asem aka afei yes changes in weather say your weather no emu asesa soprano if you are allergic to dust the advice say ya no share those mask not for a covid but for weather no say said here near santi meteorologist for na wo mu etu yemfo e wo saa kwan no so we ne nsema hodo pii e na awia yi ye ba be boroboro so kmak empanyifo e beboa me Nuruddin Hamidan of NDC abusuakuo mu Sylvester Sapon Soprano ono so CPP Director of Communications ono so ababe kame ho ye hwe ne mo se Awal Mohammed of the NPP Awal nanse otaye late papa awutie mi a obehwe yie papa Awal ono so ye hwe so ababe ka ye ho ana onya ma ye de ye aduane no ye behya ase ne adi oba no obeto so a no aba be dibi wa meto so so de a ochimfo bi ani ho no mo a ye didi a eja ne bie Nuruddin ne soprano memamo akwaba na mpom te say ye the rat ya say issues are ababeda ho enie na me hyase e de free Nuruddin also we can say computerized school selection and placement system no is it the best for us, are we implementing it right, what can we do to make it right, to improve it, because since 2005 up to now 18 years in year and I think yes akokwaso kranka yenti problem be but every year the same problem keeps problems keep occurring. The idea na yem fan to 2 yenti ama ebanasa
yo menu aba me dash me chia me opanel
hey kasa me chia me classmate na dia na would say
me co-panelist was I am a classmate for the past 20 years
for the past 20 I work here in
UST we did degree together we completed 2002 until last year 20 years when I completed university.
Wow. In the 21 years,
yes. David. This is the first time we are meeting.
I'm blessed.
You have become a center of many things to happen. Many good things to happen.
Indeed, you know it.
Yes. So, let me say, we need to get serious in this. Because no matter what you because some of us, there's no point following the placements. Because Obian himself, open admission, you know what to do. Obian himself, placement system, in Yijuma. That's we keep spending money on it. We keep paying people to work on it. Meanwhile, meanwhile, you name say open admission. You know what to do. Then say, yeah, my niece, FM is open admission. I just made a call. It was done for her.
Wow.
What you say? Let's not continue pretending. This placement system is not working. And your management, you are DBI, your friend, business process improvement, and your business process re-engineering. When you have a process going, not process, you have to re-engineer it. Re-engineering means that baby who say achiano so bet me atine na what no the one or two problems e wo ho a na what problems no but I didn't say to the point that ultimately the where the problem is. You knock everything off and rebuild again.
I say with this one,
my suggestion is that this placement system, we all travel all over the world. Fortunately, our Minister for Education was operating school in the US. And I know how the system operates. In fact, in US, some of the parents who are determine where they rent. What I say? They say, some men who are the braka, me family bar and co school. Cape Coast. It doesn't make sense. Okay. In US, it doesn't work that way. Because the BIAMAH so that all the schools, the minister, Etsy, Nima, and now what say, aha adabraka. Now, up a good school, he should help us to have good school, at least one good school in Adabraka. So when you travel across the country, across the world, you see that schools are placed within communities. It was government deliberate a policy say, about a community, you have grade 1 school, you have grade 2 school, you have grade 3, grade 4. So that whichever grade you want, if you want grade 1 school, you can still get your kid. You say,
in the same community.
The same community. You don't even need to travel. In fact, in the US, if you want to send your child to a different school, they won't even accept. You have to must necessarily choose a school around.
It
doesn't make sense because they say, no, maybe Tifie, Nameba is going to school just across door. It makes sense because, one, if the Mebane a day student, it cuts cost of transportation. Where boarding can be BBC, I can rush to the school and support him. Oh, all these things we need to look at it. It's not something that is difficult.
Yeah, in school, so no, the attendant Dawson. Yeah, papa no, a Dawson.
An American, so a government aside, they say, yeah, papa womb. Because it doesn't make sense. Say, me ba, ebia, ye wo nkranha, ahana ye bibia, afe me apply school, I say, manang, inako. I did not call baby. Maybe sometimes cry money day. And Cape Coast, the parents is here. Or be our teenager, you expect me to go and rent accommodation in Cape Coast. Who's going to take care of the kid? Because we are still shaping him. Or boarding there in himself, house masters were home. At least do's and don'ts were home. Time I also order, better. Time I also was sorry, and it's enclosed environment.
When you say maybe in a situation like this, say be on more born a brain in our wakra hasay, it's your office say be a school so best select one and no, and I was here then a bad so, but unfortunately, in a bar akko say be a Kumasi one of the schools are any bad. But almost any day, don't you think say parent be working out so that on be man boarding facility akolana ko can say be a obesa in a free hall to come closer to you to Accra. Maybe without any complications, or complications, I know you're different and altogether.
Oh, me say a minister ask you because they should just knock it off. Now you try exams. Yeah, time or no. This thing was not there. You choose first choice, second choice, third choice. But what is it's still the same thing. It's still the same thing because they say no. Once the results come, maybe I'm able to work it out. So what has changed? It's data and they also say Juma. Into say ye exams that is when they are supposed to start working. immediately after the exams, you would have already selected those who have selected Prempe as first choice. You know they are 1,000. Those who have selected Kumaka, you know they are 200. You know them. Then, by the time the results come, no more she show Obia Babia, I was already there. Oko. It's Obia how can me my true say me per body? No, I'm a day. No, I said me a different region. Does it mean that people don't work, or people don't think, or people are just sitting down pushing papers? These are the questions. It may say, sometimes it demoralizes our kids. Because of that, because of school. Me say, Anka, I dropped school 1 year because when I completed a JHS that time, because of this placement in it, I said I won't go. I was doing Joroni.
There is a woman here. She's sitting at the security. Mama, if you answer, it me drew on more now on you, dear, and kind of Yama Brabit. Mamma say, a bar, you did not call one of the schools in a previous siblings, a call her, a momu Philip at all. And she doesn't want her daughter to go there, but a one of my place. It's not been a cassa. Ma on busy on the man other children a femme. Ebia they did not go and learn. Omukoko then I'm hobby.
Oh, but the school standards also count because say a bus or more failing one education. No, obviously you don't have.
No, Akolani aggregate 11.
Wow.
It's one year bad.
But sometimes too, what happened in the school? And also apart from the siblings, what is the average performance of this? Because the environment you find yourself also
and bad schools.
Teachers
so before off air, you know the school I'm talking about.
Then I think we must we must be up and doing because the cost.
Do we blame the system and I say Nipana also making sure say system not a year jumano? And
I say system beyond Nipana running system. Into Nipana they have to be blamed from the minister because minister by okay said and say expose.
Yeah, the fourth estate.
And it's true. If you pay good money, you get good school. So what is the minister doing about this? I was expecting that S start rolling
from him.
No, he should start. We are no say Watch us here. But they are all there, and we continue to have these problems. But at least let's met out the right punishment for that person. Yes, Anna, it serves as deterrent for the next person not to do the same thing. We need to be up and doing. The Minister for Education, they should set up an investigative team. Which way can we improve on the process? If we can't improve on the process, can we get a team to go to other countries? Nigeria is doing it. In Africa, we have other countries who are doing it better. Even if you're not Africa, we have Europe, we have US, we have UK. What are the best practices that we learn? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to. And I'm shocked that minister who has practiced in the US, I know the system in the US. I know how it operates. We can at least learn and pick certain things and add so that we can be better off. And here, of course, we did.
Soprano, Breman, before soprano, Bebe, Mamma, a year Akwaba, Awal, Mohammed, Awal, and Wakwabo.
Yenya,
and Pom to say,
Yamiado.
What time and cram?
Yamito and cram.
Okay. Because Mamma,
soprano. Hey, Obama Chow. I mean, Shawns also no opportunity.
Amen.
Na ya Chiagana for you na. Misan Chia Kufitibu. And other workers are a OTO park Kufitibu ewo North Legon. Omo company be a friend Pure Flow.
Okay.
Omo yensuo. Ewo North Legon.
Pure Flow.
Pure Flow. Nti honum no Martin ne Ernest. Kufitibu mu no. Regular listeners, and they wanted to hear their name today.
Oh, okay.
With your permission.
And that's where the wild board.
Last week or two, one crown or that was it. Now, Oba, may use opportunity to actually at your phone and a CPP phone. Just by the way, about what I said last week, no, me can say nka, you say vice president, who's a vice president of Ghana, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, who say nana, or making wild statements about arresting the dollar, ne or no abano making a wild statement. Be you arrest the dollar. He doesn't stop there. We've put him in jail. He doesn't even stop there. I've given the key. Hey, basana ne subanity. Also, oh no aba. No, I make some wild. For instance, latest wild suggestion I the abano, and it's all the rent ibiba. And last week, I say I have sat down and I have come up with a plan that eviscerates the vice president's strategy. Me the betri moi. A chance me ba betiti vice president in the plan. And papa, me diani papa. Na me nimsi our time.
Remember time. I'm going instead of your usual CPP time, I'll give that time to you so that whatever plan you have,
I appreciate. But of course.
Oh, okay.
The government.
Yeah.
The policy is running successfully. Now, Obi say the war, he's coming to bastardize it.
I didn't. Please, those are your words. I said I would eviscerate. That's very different from bastardization.
Okay.
Evisceration means you tear it apart and make it useless because you have better. No, because I have a better strategy.
So it's a synonym.
Okay. No, I disagree. To say bastardize. It's just a matter of nomenclature. It's my time. One moment. No. With respect,
Mate. Soprano member. Whatever you put out. Man reacting.
I don't have a problem with that. But by choice of words, I'm just saying don't put words in my mouth. I would never say the vice president. I would never bastardize. I won't, use that word with the vice president. Me respect the vice president. No, it's just that his ideas are kokamami. Okay, Pacho. To say the kind of right now topic on the table. Placement systems. About placement system. No, I have trust in it. So, human beings, no Ghana for now, operating system, no, and a problem. Now, computer, me computer bars, me started and MS DOS.
Yeah,
those days, it's just garbage in, garbage out, and that's what is happening with the placement system. And it's not an issue with the algorithm, so to speak, as much as it is the issue with the human resource. Now I operated the program and algorithms. So now we have a good concept operated by bad people. But I think the situation of what is occurring, I say, the computerized system, unbiased. I think unbiased captures the essence of what I'm trying to say. Now and so still system for fetchy, manipulated system. The other day, microphobia, say cleaners, be near they can home, a manipulative system. No? So, and then you don't hear anything. What is happening to people involved in the manipulation at source? Because one thing about these computer systems, and they say when you access it, we can see who accessed it. Also, computer and who the obey down. And I'm expecting a system, Friday be firewall. Firewall, if I say a wall, essentially computer, a protected pieces of information. For instance, you better say password is a type of firewall. But I say a binary password now you have access to. So essentially, who are the people who have access to this system? Our system is fairly Ghanaians, So, but then again, me say any system no fairly. A nipa na operating system no. Na say utifie na debi papa ewe nanka, unsusu nya nanka obere. So I say, and I put the blame squarely, at the doorstep of President AKWAFO. Obi and your man for Obi because after all, Minister of Health, inappropriate strategy, the COVID-19 drugs. So Nana AKWAFO Minister of Health you. Or called the man or the joke, and that was the end of it. Meanwhile, the Minister of Health, in his own words, he broke several laws. And I was saying, even yen chinim to mumpa. And Kobe resigning, and I said, Anabemana Kofi. But another year, Nana AKWAFO, President of Ghana, or the year city, and I'm from Faso. And why to say, yes, serious. Nina, you read because we are writing the biography of President AKWAFO as we see him to be. Now, also, that is not all. So Sawusha, Minister of Roads and Transport, President Busianino, now a Minister of Roads and Transport. Okoye a tolling boat, toll boat. So wakatu mu afi osi enfanye adwaye ene agyanan bia ne ade ade sa anyoma we nyina no aye toll boat na gina ho no ma se waste ni nyina no. Please, when you get an opportunity, you can do the correlation or identify it or point it out. No. Please bear with me. Allow me to flow. You see, I could be disturbing you when it's your time. Okay, so as I was saying, Nana, Mami Biama, enti a Minister of Roads and Highways now, nane behavior no, President of Ghana no simply let it ride. He simply let it ride. There were no repercussions. Another example, a very important example, is the Minister of Finance. I'm talking about Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta. To the extent that the majority members of the majority in Parliament had to go to the presidency and impose upon the president how important it was for him to replace this our finance minister who has taken us on an endless whole trip into the rabbit hole, the economic rabbit hole, so to speak. The president has not done anything about it. You see, these are precedents. Talking about precedent, President Akufo-Addo is a man of stary decisions. He's always talking about judicial precedent. And I'm saying that the president of Ghana sets the highest levels of precedent. And the president naturally say, so what now we are near Macron to pass or the yesterday. Now, Minister of Finance, where the economy, no, that's not a nipa now handle placement, and a problem. What would the baby I make me free banner? So I'm saying that the fish rots from the head. The president of Ghana, in my opinion, has shown massive laxity in bringing discipline into his own, cabinet, for lack of a better description, within his own government. Members of the members now, where you are 120 ministers, no. Not president, they are serious. When they openly break the law, not president, they are serious. So how come say guy now all your placement, no? Or no swing your placement? Nobody is afraid of anything. You understand? Nobody is afraid of anything. After all, the president will make a joke out of it. And that's my problem with what is happening. So when we begin to address these issues of enforcement, when people are afraid of the president because he will enforce the law against you, he will send the BNI to come and look for you. They will invite you for multiple questioning. They will give you a forensic audit of your activities. When that begins to happen in this country, then people will take these issues seriously. But until that time, we, the members of this citizenry in this country, we cannot wait for 20th, is it the 7th of January 2025, when President Akufo-Addo will finally and permanently exit from the political scene so that we can have hope in the future of this country. We are looking forward to a Ghana beyond President Akufo-Addo. Thank you.
That's
it. Mamincha etie for nyina mincha mpanim for me no adi kan akasa na menkasa me da sepa for this opportunity na unfortunately itimi ambant enkusi sabiom inshallah na wasi Akufo-Addo exited permanently. So do you determine his future after he leaves Ghana? No, he can still remain in politics, but he cannot contest as president of Ghana again because we are mandatory 8 years. If you don't like him, that doesn't mean that you can dictate what he does with his life. President Akufo-Addo on the 7th of January. Whoever he hand over to can still be relevant in the political sphere. He can do still politics. Politics. On a placement, I think sir, on a topic by so he didn't even touch on the placement. On the placement, I think idea started somewhere in the mid 2000s. You who say I was yes, around 2005. So you who say I was Yama and Crofonia equal access to education to the extent that say Bia Obi Eko private school and as a government school, public school, Obetimaya access to Achimota school, Pem and other schools. And again, because there are people who at least anka or no na holding or the anka went to me and macra. Meta mana me secondary school. Na yako the notice board no the oko notice board no wako check it. No oko who say school na fawa. Do to me multiple 3 schools ni nyina kra to me fawa. That time na choices ni me ensa na wahwem na wayi de wo pe. but who say and all the problem aba ama nkrofo kra no epi school bi but omu ntimi enko nti who say yenye bibisa nti ye ni nyina na problems ba na ye perfect na problems ba na ye perfect to the extent that last year the enokra ye na edutwam kra because mostly in the ye ni say ye boa ema omukoye omuye choices no before some be kwakotro exams but this time around after exams no ena omukoye nti akola ni behu na ho de ahu say obetimi akonfanse pima na say wontimi nko after exams no results in my dear but obi enim se asumasi ono kotro ye no otimi ye anka na wachusu side school no so after that they had the choices a omutimi choose again choices no utimi choose maku enum no so kra no ube choose category A B C D C before say A B C it ubetimi choose ni nyina D ka ho it eno so choose wi a baby a ye bema wo day no age say bi a ufri catchment ho enye sa ye de wo ebekọ boarding nipa na eye ye nyina ye nim nipa ena te ho it definitely mistakes etimi ba obi frame me enene nansa e kan say omoti Accra ne ba no ekọ school wo Swedru ho na call boarding school bi wo Swedru eti na ope Swedru senior high school onya Swedru senior high school for the child nanso ya any day because omohwe no obuhu say baby a call JSS ni Swedru eti say man Swedru a day a ebetimi aboa you see where genuine you don't need any connection man go to Central Regional your friends say center now my create no na wa chirim say baby a call ewo your friends say Swedru no o call boarding so me ma meti win ba and I meti Accra so ontimi nya obia entra na nchen it will be resolved okoye no omu akola no border ono na koy he didn't pay anything he didn't talk to anyone again but o frame say ye wo kwan bia betimi afa so aye enum ti na ama we no yenim some mistakes beba no every region first no bebe nya problem ni say obi abankran you remember ema omu be
still not the same
there be every region your friends say center omuko yes every region kuma say ewo ho Accra ha omo bebe omo every region has a center it will call center na wako chirichirim say genuine say akwala no entimi anya again and also say akwala no enya school kra the choices ni nyina o man ntimi amfa no but he still qualifier ye bie portal no mano it will go online now obetimi aye self placement obetimi a place no ho it will be who schools are available no ho baby aye boarding any day day and also the same thing lady be Efreme say ne ba ono so wenya ni nyina oro mote Accra ha etimi ka say onko on the portal na onko hwe suku a closer to Accra but for now they mention Accra boarding be ma it won hwe de closer to Accra now o hwe na Wesley girls because na menim say Wesley girls bi Accra and o say Wesley girls available and am say any koye o say o one ni papa edi nkomo me say wanye ni sisi a e be ma o ampanso before say be consult the papa na ba na no so ayema na o ma deny because omo so school no o ma reach nipa dodo a omo pe na de aka ye o say akwala no ko boarding ana say wanya ko any some few schools it make us say we there on hwe na ko placement then the problem aba go to the center go and talk to them say baby akwala no wie school no wanya placement enti yemfa no ko e bia eben mo a mbetimi aye. It was also resolved. It was just resolved only yesterday. So, any day education or form kakra. I think say eno ka ho na ama yehu de yehu. But I can tell you that we are a near perfect your friend saying system. Setback I buy with the last year de no. I nkrofoko ji hu sika ne keka ho. Eno ye a very good exercise. Bibo Manase Azuri awini any team na baso. I had wish say anka omutoa so this year kan ho na omo ye complicit omo ye mpanimfo you know say eno ma me hu say ne de no wo ya de na so there are gaps because anasare me anas na ye ya you will get to know where the money will even end.
You will get to know where who is doing what and whatever. At this situation, I've spoken to Manasseh myself.
Yes.
And more can say, and near my ye ready musenka, ye be put in place, ye be ye. to at least put some form of fear be in people.
Yes.
Yeah, neglect it. You refuse to cry.
Exactly.
Yes, I do man on me and cost 90 work.
Debbie, yachi nipa wanka bibia wa ha. Yachi nipa maku 8.
Yes.
Omo air through the process. Yes.
According to the Minister of Education, they
are there. Yes.
The password.
Exactly.
Why no release my was a menka.
So the end of the say if you had finished everything, it will have unraveled everything.
How would they finish it when people who are involved must react to it?
And then make
Minister of Education.
Why
for saying that?
Police.
Why will he be arrested?
Why do you have to release your offense a password to a third party?
He did not.
Apart from say be a one director general.
Debbie. Debbie. Then you're getting it. Then you're getting it.
Then release it to a personal assistant. Na BB HSR.
They are the people he gave to.
Due diligence.
Exactly. So as a minister, no. Well, see, changes to category A schools. They are restricting it to honor any director general. And you almost na computer no ho eye. They have 2 trusted people each. A omo computer no ho. A omo ye. And omo ye sadie no. But they have been arrested.
Those people.
Yes, they have been arrested. What you say yachi omo. Ama ono so ejetum sa ampa. He released it to them, but enye on better na computer ho ye. For instance, your friend said nipa or ye penny waha na or your friend said there is a password na wa release yama your friend say obi e wahana or ye juma. The ultimate responsibility rests on him. Nansu ye nipa omo ye enunti na ma make say this is a major setback and also aboyen ama yati no ma biase ama ye de the best remedy ebe to ho na ye de aye juma on schools there. Everywhere in the world, there are category A schools. Everywhere in the world, there are categories in schools. When you say, former President Kufuor started something, you say, instead of going to build schools, why not say, anka, yenye schools ni ina model. Obiya pesa oko prempe. Obiya pesa oko achimota. Obiya pesa oko these schools. Let's also make these schools better. Because the AMA category, no, school no etimi edru enimu in terms of category infrastructure 1 and no mudi starting it infrastructure no yen building infrastructure 50 schools 50 now President Kufuor in satachi nyina category A schools now Kumasi Anglican ka ho Konongo Dumase ka ho Efi school FJC secondary commercial e ka ho these are schools are oba no see ye expanding infrastructure say na be ya ye betimi pushing palani bebre akogu ho na omotimi aye. So yes, there are category A schools, but the problem when you compare to the US, yes, you say or say drew ho. But when you go to the advanced countries, UK, US, every your friends say 200 to 300 meters beyond you have a school, you have a hospital, you have everything. It will be that's the nature of the almost settlement in the Kekao. Yeah, no. They be boy and say you bet me improve on the infrastructure or even the existing schools. And I say yes, school, a more comprehensive school. For instance, first time schools are yes, Simaku 9, ya complete and Kolano starting our mokon. Uko abomusua. School no, 24 classroom blocks on kwa. Almost science labs, maku 6. Boys dormitory, girls dormitory, everything is a complete senior high school, a yes time school. They fixing almost everything they need. It's just on the left. The entire place, about 10 acres, and a school Oko Pasenke in the northeast region, and also Yatimia, the same thing. Maku, Weja Haya Bakukura Siheya. Mumetimiyama UTV kwa kuchaba ABC weja haya yetimiaye. So the moment you improve on infrastructure and no boa emma at least obia ebe unsa se minhwena no yikra no school kese wa hadia and me prese mekwachiri again awofo me hu ma me na obeka se UTV so me hu se ma me no beka se ni bani ya 35 adetro obi ya 9 na ni banye 35 na di onya 9 na enye school na ni bani enya You see, look at the ridicule or the MAAME echo through. So I think say the education should go very wider. It was say at least GES before this, you know, omuni omo edin kita hu bebre awofo no e ka kire omo se sei na ade no yeye no schools no akesefo no first na category A schools no na e be 40-50 se say improve infrastructure they are close to 100 and no kire say you improve on the infrastructure na e be boa ama at least uko area bia say the president ko for start and say district bia no yembo modi na nya category A school. So at least say Asante Afijase ni mpotemu nyina na onim say a fiscal A category A every infrastructure obenya so obeko ho konongo ni mpotemu a onim say konongo odumase etimi. So these are the things we're expecting. But when President Mahama bae no o can say yenye day schools uko drobonso we are forced to build dormitory before they can even admit anyone there. No, my be 70-80% complete. But me pick up ejina drobonsu kromo na mi ko even with the pickup, I spent 26 minutes to 30 minutes before I get to the school. And you're quiet after from no and you school no. So obi any wa obetimi ananti within 2 hours kra ko do school. Oko offenso asuosu de no yakosi no between asuosu ene your friend say community na wo animu no. So obi any wa obetimi ananti from sa community na school we soon timi nantimba. So we will have to be forced to build dormitories for them. It you get like Kolani say on to sa school now. O say na me de bia mananti akonti men nantim free asuosu nko ba bia school no. Then no mu yina ko cluster no me obi aka so ene meko we afia kenten. You understand? So at least you share the ya over the time now. Share your friends say get fund. Who say get fund who ko get fund who say every single senior high school in this country. Your project be a get fund abandon almost started 2 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. Omu wie. It ye kwaji 1.5 billion. I did get fund the sikana and a kwaji besia. And they can say young completing in and no ama double track near almost phased out because who say young completing all the get fund projects. Over 1,000 projects are a be a dormitory, a be a classroom blocks. Ya complete here at least schools no start here omu eusu. It ye improve on the infrastructure. But say we no ebe boa ama at least akwala na nhwese obe kwachiri because o school na e won hina no kra na obetimi enya quality education wo ho.
Say Awal Mohammed ena otse nenkana.
The reason why Ghanaians are not happy with this acknowledgement of the problem. So if there is a problem, let's be honest, say there is a problem. But we try to window dress it as if say all things are good, things are happening. There is a problem. And the problem is that this placement that they are doing, left to me alone, I expect government spokesperson to advocate for sacking of the people around who are doing all these things. Because if you pretend, oh, it's better, it's getting better, you are rather emboldening the people who are doing the wrongs to do it. I'm happy that Manasseh has done investigation. What is government doing about this? A government that is committed to fighting crime and fighting corruption. Remember when Tiger Eye did the custom? At least the then president came out and talked about it and asked that the report should be worked, and if he catch anybody, that day the person will leave office. He said that he didn't even say it in his office. He walked to their office and give them that stem warnings. This is what we as leadership. At least it embodies this leadership. No, so my brother Awal, let's face it, things are not going on well. The infrastructure you are talking about, we have a deficit. John Dramani Mahama came and started the infrastructure with the World Bank money. The monies were there. The budgets were there. The monies were released. The projects were not completed. And people will come and say that, oh, it was in the bush. Who these days, even some of the projects that they are doing, who these days will build a new school in a city? Even Legon, University of Ghana, is it not in the bush? In those days. Even now, Legon is in the bush. Before you get to Legon, you have to pass through the bush. So that argument, let's put it aside. Let's all think like Ghanaian. Let's see how we can come together. Governance is not for only one person. We all can help. When you think that it's Sylvester who can help, get his expertise. It doesn't matter whether it's an MPP or NDC. We have the brains in this country. We have the knowledgeable people. We have the resources. Why is it we continue to suffer and keep giving our people problems? Somebody may have even heart attack to die because of some of these places. Because we all know one funny man near grow. Ni badia ebe kani bebia no ntiminna. Me ba school be problem eba pair edana ntiminna. Because you are working so hard, you know the benefit of are working so hard. Whether you have the money, even if it means you have to go and borrow, you borrow and pay. Kakria aban so betimi aye no. Let's help and get it done. Ye nyina aye nhwe obia, it doesn't matter. Nipa no MPP no NDC no public service. No when ye juma ese or ye no. Ye nyina, let's go after that person. Even if it means taking him out of the office and throwing him away, because we can't sit down and continue to suffer. Look at how people are taking their children away. People are taking their children away to other countries to school. Those who are doing it here are sending them to private schools. Now, say, you know, the education system that is more permanent in Ghana is the UK and they say British system and American system. Why is it that every Ghanaian parent is running away from GS system? GS system too is supposed to be superior as far as Ghana is concerned. So why? It means there's a problem. So let's acknowledge where the problem is. Let's all try to identify some mono mufis or we'll deal with them. Because at the end of the day, Ghanaians are the beneficiary. Then you know I benefit. Maybe I never will school and I will school, but maybe our cousin be suffer. And now we they will suffer. So let's work together and see how we can solve this problem. Everybody knows that the school placement system, there's a problem. If we are going to do yes, so we do it. It's better we tackle the problem head on. That is the problem.
Oh, about me what can I say? Nana, I'm so my bro. Nana, they can't handle this thing. That's all I wanted to say. You man, want me you. And I'm
my friend said they all kwabinya ya. Uko hano weni aji. The day school na isi in kwabinya. You go there, everyone works there because it's a because we see day school. Anytime you pass by, you see children there going to school. We will say on free distance, baby. Father, so ebisi ho. Yeah, constituency as I was say. Ebisi we friends saying Pakuso. It is in the middle of the town. Eti obia betimi anantiako. But who ye school? Pesanke de na make no. Eye kurase. But eye burden. They make and say, oh no, I'm not saying this. Miss make us say who sit down no ewo kwaye mu a. Make sure that eye burden. And I make us say yes no. They say abumuso no. Eye kwaye mu kra. Embe kro no. But a complete burden. Uko awaso a me say ufiri awaso na ufiri kro mu ho a. Ewo on the left side a uko eye no. Enu so ye friends complete.
The day secondary school.
Yes.
We have boarding and we have...
There's no boarding amongst them.
We have those with dormitories.
Debbie.
Some of them
Debbie. The 23 now, World Bank sponsor no. And your dormitory your friend said teachers bungalow. 23 ni na. 23 and a World Bank Mr. Oh, now you my time want me ankasa. Obi su kasa opesa uchunchwa me nan so. The amount time we see the who can say ya bre.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
The amount time we see ya bre. So me say your friends omuka say omu see 200 day schools. Omuko World Bank under the Senior High School Improvement Program SHIP. Emma omu 23 no. Omo wall kura obehun say ya to wall afa ho ya si block no any one teachers bungalow enu nko a ene aminu ka say ya statistics boarding houses ma some schools are in say e wo kwa yemu ankwala no ntimi nantenko baby exactly e block ena make say baby omuntimi
problem is say ono aba wabeyebi.
Yes.
It must improve on it.
We are doing
it. All
it.
comes to the
We are
same
doing
thing.
it. Yeah, we are doing it. And I make a just say, on by no completely saying 42, and answer 44, and then yeah, almost 70. Yeah, completed the make a job also there no. Omuko na 70%, and then
they don't deserve
that you know, I completed and Kolano Astatia ya postu omoko. And then I make us say, who see no kroneja because I want to school.
Boarding facility.
Exactly. Send a bear obi bet me abaho abedaho. I want to mean nante say obi obe nante ni benante. They want to mean nante na wakodaho. And want to mean can say uti kwa me but don't say we will not go and construct boarding el kwabenyadi. We will only add classroom blocks because a day. What I say, uko baby to say Cape Costa. Omo day school e won finfin ho. Christ the King. A day. It is also improve infrastructure be a day. It is the only day school in the middle of Cape Coast. Where your friends say Wesley girls are boarding, Fancy Pimi are boarding, Adisadeli are boarding, Obianko day ho. But baby a day no. Omuya no more increase infrastructure na a day infrastructure because a synchronofin fee. So who ye day school, who ye the cronfin fee a bois. Et ye diano, ye constituency diana na or ye MC a CN. Ewo honkola no ko unam ho no se omu nyina nante ede but sipakoso krom ho a etumo se nkola ni nyina betimi anante akọ
you bear with me that place was also in the
no but you see akoko amu ben no akoko ame
doesn't matter if it is in the bush
it depends on where the village
let me
is
help you.
And where there are places there are places I was at baby a school no one akola ntimi nante nkoma
but once about kusi the nubusa no
baby we give them school buses immediately we completed school we ask school buses
let
me tell you we build it let me tell you you know how come I got Asokoimon school. The government policy is that we don't have money to purchase land. So if the chief is prepared to give you land for free, then we can come and build school. I wanted to do it at Asokoimon. The chief of Asokoimon said, no, he don't give it to us for free. Because in the project budget, we didn't budget for the land. No government will go and buy land at that price. If you want to do new secondary school, our policy and yours is different because yours you are improving existing schools. We are building new schools.
No, we
and new schools cannot be done in the center.
Yes, I'm building new schools.
After improving on the already built ones, they have also built
the new schools that they are building. They can't do it in the city. They can't do it in the town. They have to do it in the bush.
And they plan it at a boarding facility.
Boarding facility.
I don't have problem with that. So, but you see, they kept saying this consistently. You see Danny, you see no bush. You see Danny, you see no bush. They are also doing. They are doing it in the bush.
You see no bush in my day.
What you in the day?
You see, one bank is giving you a fixed amount. You let it go or you take it. And
no. You cite it well.
It is our policy that once that one is commissioned and we accounted for the money from the World Bank, we improve on the structure by adding dormitories and others. That is why we added the bus.
I think for the most part, no reading seems to be. You see, my point is this. So, the government of Ghana, SC school, aben ukromu kakra. Na obi abegina ho aka kire wo say school ni si nwurem. Hey, Ghana for me ehwe ni ma bi na abenya school esi nwurem na wakọ. Obi pe school ni bi kra keke wonya bi nkọ. What you say? Enti say wasi obi ohon mo see then the school has been built in a jungle. I know Offenso very well. There is no jungle in Offenso. Obi Katro said school never Offenso kwanu sisi jungle. I will try and throw propaganda. I spent a lot of time in Bonsia. Offenso. Offenso na me di agro. October farms. What I say, enti they work and no crese a jungle. But in any case, the American say, thank you, see, enwura mukura na Ghana for mummy emre ya ho ase. Na yanko na ahemfu na we area na ni municipal authorities no. Omomwa na schools for no enya bus emfanko. Na say school na esi nwuram no, headmaster ewo honum. Enti akra na wo ko school no hu hia se headmaster na owo school no na. Akra no say school ni si nwuram. It won't call. Me wa teacher ni wo ho. Headmaster wo ho. This is a brofu word na hubris. Can finish ko okasa wi anuma kasa. Okasa wi anuma kasa.
We are not Canadian.
They have
buses. Even parkour we are talking about, they have buses. Go through the town, take them and bring them. It's even more secure.
Oh, I feel musi esinwuram with young Ghana for young grass for young oba young grass.
Madam was say ewa ha say menhwe messages no memfa emra WhatsApp messages amode by Interzone Castle Album Road and or say the untouchable, unbelievable and unthinkable. Hey, where do you want to zoom memrane? The system is not a failing us, but rather we the human beings who are sitting in front of the computer systematically and generally. Let's think Ghana first. Greetings to the people of Gumuan Cry, Honorable Mavis Howard Kumsin, and then Chairman One Yayi to you all. Yejena Sopa. Good afternoon, Mami BIAMAH. Please, they have sabotaged all private schools because of this computer selection placement system. Oga Willie and Carrier NDC's decision to vote against the president nominees. Does the NDC want to tell Ghanaians Agric and Trade Ministry are no more important to the country? So is this the reason Sedun Katia and Mr. Mahama brought Honorable Atoforsen, greetings to Shirley MAAME Tiwa, Deputy CEO of Minerals Commission, Mystic Wonder Avuko, and Sawam Adwejiri? The educational system is seriously crumbling under the discredited Nana Addo Dr. Bawumia-led government. The second-year students of senior high school went to school for just 1 month, and they will be staying home for 2 months. This government is the most catastrophic government ever in the history of Ghana. Mystic Wonder Edianono. Michael Ashalaja, no CBMZ one. Looking at the natural resources we have as a country, including fertile lands and water bodies, we don't deserve to be poor. Our problem is leadership. Ghana needs generational thinkers. Ken for president. Michael dear enono. Agunaba no Ken Japan. Agunaba MP Kaswa Adam Nana and also Mami Soja. Good afternoon. Mami Soja, please, can't you control the CPP man there? He always uses some words on our president, and you can't tell him to stop. I always listen to him, and very bad. He doesn't have good. Oh no, thank you. I beg you in the name of God. Mr. Tay Golf Estates. And also, good afternoon, Mami BIAMAH, please. It is now clear that the NDC is not a serious political party, because how can the ministers for agriculture and trade be left vacant as their national executive wrote to the parliamentarians not to approve the two ministries? The NDC should be serious next time, Mr. Tay. No, say, please tell the CPP man at your studio that you should be careful of how he goes about the way he talks about the vice president. We of those who were young pioneers don't address our leaders with a pinch of salt. He should leave Dr. Bawumia alone. Way a photo from Mr. Tay Golf Estate. Kwame Entry, New Aplaku. If John Mahama and his NDC think the country's current economic challenges have given them an opening for power, please permit me to quote a verse from the Bible for them. Let anyone who thinks he stands take heed lest he fall. And also no they abandon. Osai Kwaku Edway for UK. The president recent speech in Addis Ababa for Africa Heads of State Summit with regards to coup d'etat is indeed an urgent reference that needs to be looked at. There is the need for solidify our continental peacekeeping forces to ensure a swift intervention against such irresponsible practice, as well as ensuring toughest punishment for any coup makers. And also, I think it's high time for the president to consider protecting the public purse as promised. He has the people's mandate, therefore it will be fair and democratic to show sensitivity by considering a replacement for the role of finance minister, as well as doing the other needful things to avert the country's financial instability challenges. So say Kweku and now also so Ediway buy a pity brim from Abrewa and Konos BMZ1. Good afternoon. I learned Motor Riders Association sent an apology letter to JM to come back. What a fallacy. If Nanado disappointed us, it doesn't mean we should go back to what we rejected. Nanado's first term wasn't bad. We should remember that. Afei, good afternoon, madam. From what the man is saying is true. Every child should attend school at his or her own town. That is why John Mahama started building E-block schools in the communities. Now is the current government continuing the projects? From Dr. Ernest Hackman. watching us live from Italy. I'm Kwabena Freedom, Billy Hu Anyako. Iron Lady, good afternoon. Major Sopa. I know that it is NPP who made this country harder than before, but when MAAME comes, it will be more harder. One bright day. Good afternoon. Hey, God will judge our politicians. Hey, as though God will judge our politicians, no matter what people will say or do. Still, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia will surely be Ghana's next president. Greetings to Clifford Mate Kole and on so Edeni DM. Abana, what would the voice note to buy? Made a voice note at this time of my life. No matter what the minorities' propaganda will be, inshallah, BMW, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia will break the 8. Simple cry. Regards Honorable Valentino, ne no incoming MP for Kole Clote constituency. Komensa ila 2 and I'll do way aba. Mamenfa and Swanza Enoch as a man can say. Enoch, good afternoon, maybe please tell Uncle Solo that John Mahama is our sure bet for 2024. Dr. Kwabena Dufo and the rest should come and support John Mahama for victory 2024. My greetings to Mr. Owen Kwame Frempo, aka Darling Boy, parliamentary candidate hopeful for Lower West Achem constituency. Now, Facebook Live on so and for the messages about Pedro Wa Medina Cruz, and also watching the best show live and clear inside Kumasi Town or so, Esben Junction, where Morgan the pork seller is. Keep the good work. And the skills, as I'm joining the show live from Kel's Photography and Videography Services. Afei comments Pillar 2. I think I've read that one. Yahuza Swame. And also the goal for oil policy is a very innovative deal as two cargoes carrying 75,000 metric tons of fuel under the goal for oil arrived at port 3 days ago. And I commend the brains behind such a brilliant policy, but its impact must be felt by Ghanaians. Regards to Nanama Ampoma Ashanti Regional Women's Organizer for MPP. No. I'm Wenifita as a man can say. And also, good afternoon, BIAMAH. NDC leaders and their MPs should stop calling on the government to reduce emissions because the hardship is all over the world. Regards to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and Honorable Kennedy Japan. Noah the Ark Builder, and also he is the man of integrity, man of greater and good substance, fearless leader, and above all, a generational thinker. Some also call him the man of truth. Others too call him the nation builder, and I call him Kent for all. Joshua of our time, who is taking us to the promised land. Manauba Stephen, Mr. BIAMAH, my question to the NDC is that are the NDC MPs in Parliament there because of their party or because of their constituencies? If you quote Honorable Sedun Ketia and JDM, don't have anything good for Ghanaians at all. And now, by Stephen, Pantan Village, and or they buy. Martin Smarts is watching us live. Enoch, Kwame GH, and also good afternoon, BIAMAH. Please tell. Okay, I think I've read that one. Nana Atwapma, no, Solomon Cancer. Okay, only happening kind, no. Mary Junior, no, my name is Fresh Page. Good afternoon. I'm watching you live from Eastern Region. Greetings to all TikTokers. You on WhatsApp. If you after Mensa, and also the computer system works 90% better. I don't agree with this man. It's only when the student did not get a good marks, then you would have to pay and get your choice of. Oh, my brother, not like that. Oh, some people they got good marks, but they were placed outside their choice of school. When no lapses be brave, why? Lapses be brave.
Yeah, Bako, onya 12. Ofre me wie ya onya 12. Onya 12 no ope Adisadel. Akoye science. Nti de no ko Wesley High School ewo Bekwai. The onkoye science wo ho. So say nipa no ofre say adenti na onya 12 me say Adisadel with 12 you cannot get your friends science. People no say on say na holding or science ni beboa. Eno na ma de no ko high school.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Musa Abato, Honorable Katie Hammond was in discipline. When Honorable Afenyomakin was helping him with leading question, he was confused. I'll be surprised if drill ship merchants sail through because instead of answering questions, he was rather attacking and accusing opposition, especially on the drill ship matter. So these are the men that MPP was boasting about. Teacher Constitution, we are more say. Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa says he is a man, but didn't he receive the summon letter? But teacher, okay, God will okay. I mean, fact messages, you know, is here no more answer. Che, ye besan abasona fame. Yen to us so alleged there. Alleged Ghana to engage China for a possible debt cancellation because they hold majority of our external bonds. And the finance minister, as he spoke to City News, he was saying that they are on their way. They are getting ready to go to China to go and sit down and then negotiate with them. And then IMF also came in to say that it's not only Ghana and almost vie for debt cancellation for them. Other countries like Ethiopia, Zambia, Chad, Lebanon, Sri Lanka, and others. They say, baby, I drew a 2 years set Yebeko Ako Patch House be a car, ye dear no. And find for how long can we continue? I'm
Yes. Is
it true, Anas? Because
yes, it's true. So, you started with the debt restructuring. Who your debt restructuring now? Both domestic and external, because your debt portfolio, no domestic record and also to say external debt, no. I
5 minutes.
Yes, omo enya Ghana for NIFA. They started with a debt, and I must start with the domestic debt restructuring. About 80 to 85% a year success into it. The affair external. The betimi atu asheda ne atu asheda. The betimi akachrom se monfanche enkra no mo de achen. Ta ena ye nante na yetimi aye se na be ya debt ne be sustainable. That's the most important thing. The goal is say a debt ne be sustainable. And this is not the first time. Okay, say in the year 2000. Na your friends say ya buy no na ye kana meme ye ntimi ntua ye ho aka. Nti that time no na ye omanya na ahia ye bubro. It na ye highly indebted poor country. That time no na ye ahia for. Ena akano ameme ye ya ye ntimi nye. It we highly indebted. We your friends say ekamemo usu we hia ni bubro. Enu nti omudi sa ni structure no buy say yenko na yemwa ene ye lower middle income economy. Even today a year can show the size of your GDP now. One of the biggest your friends say economies in Africa. Ene Ghana is the 8th biggest economy in Africa. So it should tell you that ampa ehia yen ekameme but ye betimi enya ekwan afaso etimi eyiye ho efirimo eti ehia ye but e kano ameme ye eti ekwan ebetimi afaso aye ne se yenim se ebetimi aye adwuma no eti ye omo a ye kano ye dede kano omumra na yentun hyeda because enim se ye di no
yes omo de chaye
ye de no make us domestic no
okay
yentun hyeda na yentua o ka later because enim say ye di normal bi to akwan mu a betimi ama economy no asa gina ne nan so wo ye store no ene de e kaba ana say your friend say emfaso ma but store no ho ayema but emfaso nhyada ma eti bra ensi hu a wo say medima o disi anu mintimi fa ma eti afefoforo no be di nsi hu no be ma o eno kra no mo ka so mo mpeni say okay ye be mo nsi hu no 10% ebi so be mo 15% and eti o mo abonten no e say wo de ekano e was say at least udi bi chaye na san tua bi esan se wanya so fa so bebre ni na keka ho enu nti na ama e kan se ye koho na ye no omo akotena se na yaka se na be ya on betimi aye de was say tusha da bia no betimi anso the external your friends debt you know enu so ye guso a ye ama man a omo call debt exchange no be to say Argentina, Uruguay, Greece omkra de your head cut na buy obi a okuta ibia both domestic and external ebi kura 50% usika na eda hono na ya twam ya fafa nso na efa no ebetua ka later sana ye but ye de ende obi eni ho a watwa obi ti the haircut na ye ka no obi eni ho wa ye haircut wa de ka eni se emfaso na e wo se ye de ma wo no anasa nsihu na ye de ma wo afi bia no eno no afi de ye kwa hu ye hiem enti e be ma wo instead of 18.5 no about 10%. Dear oburu 60 years and so ye be ma no 15% instead of the 18.5. But ye kwa abonten for no de yesra ofa che utimi fa nchen so a ene my time na yentua ye nim se ye betimi agina ye nan so ena ayi IMF waka say we debt restructuring year there is the highest possibility that by next year no na Ghana etimi astart pick it up na economy no etimi agina ne nan so na yetimi aye enti we ni de ade a ewo ho even Germany you remember 2 weeks ago and also last week omo kan say omo no omo counterparts bedi hu nkomo no mo hu e ka omo be feel say omo betimi dia chen for instance e bia nipa ne bae no obo obesia e de interchange ya pokwasi interchange e no say e hokra no minji eyi oho maybe to bia oho e na say mi shada nya revenue kese bia emfree ho eye monument it is e bia opese yesesa di ne kra na edi udin ekoya na yaye na eno ano no omusu timi beye bibisa the Jubilee House okay say yakwaji your friend say sika no na ye 2 from the Indian government half of the money equal rural electrification half equal the construction of the Jubilee House eti eno de ewo ho omo osika ya omo di che when de ye ka eti ye ba ene mo abetena se ehu se e ka ne bebre wo ho de NDC for crowd kwaji awoa your friends edi koko kwaji awoa ya di your friends say bui dam no e da so China for no what still ye di koko ni bi koma omo asawoa na omo ye eti eno no ye kasa mu fa nchen because ye tua bra ijiri se omo ebetimi aye na omo ni IMF for na IMF kasa omo kra no beboa yen na eno mo akoka na omo aka kire omo se enye se bia ye nhunu kra na de boto ye hu boto na de kra him because yes so because MAAME na wo IMF no journalists now will free Joy FM ne no kotena CD nkomo no o ka say Ghana enye mismanagement man be dru ba bia ye dru o say eye exogenous shocks these are the words our mo video no kra wa ha e video audio eti omunim say Ghana ye wo the personnel these are her words ye betimi turn the economy around president kan say ampa say ye di nipa ebeba de nipa wu aye ntimi fa ne ma but economy ni de etete pansam kra e betimi di abanti ye protect the lives of people and na ama ye bedru ba bia ye dri.
Thank you so much Awal. Nurdin
enuaba e bia ye dri
5 minutes ani woni de
ne pa ani eye aniwo me ba wote ho the Hamadan actually 100 million na me fan kodi me fan koto e boutique a ma ton afi mi tam 100 million ma wa ade e chia me hu so wakoto brand new car afi wo dress na asesa se kra no haircut no car no de bia oil na watch assist say what spend this kind of time na eduru a we ka sha me and mean does it make sense when you about just this analysis does it make sense and na abra obeji sika no ye ma ye catch you say when you about sika uji endi udia it will bring problems. From 2017 to date, all the time minority caucus in parliament, Adongo, Atufo, Jinapor, and the rest, they keep warning this government to the extent that Adongo wrote letters to the government, Minister for Finance, Governor of the Bank of Ghana. These are the repercussions of it. They throw it away. Put the moon school. Then we have the men. And the other do baby I dream. And then you are proud saying say, yeah, say Boniface. Where does this happen? About all of them know say sikana omudi mamu ne one fanya investment. You use all the money in consumption. You use the money in consumption. As against Mr. Tepe and John Dramani Mahama a year, which you are beneficiaries to it. Yeah, time Mr. Tepe, you came and said, and no one said, Baumia, this Baumia, vice president. He came and said, we are borrowing too much, we shouldn't borrow. And Tepe responded to him, saying, he said, we don't borrow to shop. We are borrowing for investment, and that time we were doing what we call smart borrowing. In fact, we even use balance sheet of state agencies to borrow into a canocran and Minister for Finance. A living example is the airport. No, it can be added to the debt, but the payment of that debt is by the state institution. So Ghana Airport, for instance, I hear they have even finished. But if they have not, they are almost done.
$250 million. That's about 3 years. They have not.
You see, so what we are saying is that when you are borrowing, borrow and invest. At least today, airport is there. There are any airport tax. We'll be the plane by Otia. We are generating resources. He feels that, oh, my money is put to judicious use. But somebody says, now, you koto land cruiser, now you koto fuel, now you your salary, then you spend it on consumption. Do you have the gut to come and say, can you find job? And how do you investment? And the investment in an ye. Me find say, would they acquire see airport for? And now, me find say earthquake, I mean, and the best say airport. That makes sense. So over come back say, oh, you cannot make us say, major ADC airport, you know. We see airport when earthquake are destroy airport. That is a genuine basis. But say over sorry keke, it is come out with this cano. Can offer a test company, data bank. I'm gonna hear consultants to the loans that you know. Because they say you are coming to say, young fan chow. Do you know that it's taking MPP longer and harder time to even sign to IMF? If can say joining IMF 6 months or 8 months ago, June, the president here announced up till date, assignment to IMF kasa mun kono they say many will say, do you know that even at this stage, MPP has brought a lot of loan in parliament? Up till date,
thank you. Thank you.
No, but they have loans in parliament.
Thank
even Minister for Finance is asking them to pass the loan.
Thank you very much. Soprano.
Thank you for the opportunity.
5 minutes.
Patron say we read the messages no. Penny be or Gulf Estate.
Mr. Tay.
Mr. Tay also a young pioneer. And no assisted the Missy Casa about vice president. No. But Mindidi vice president at him. I will never do that. I am not capable of insulting the elected executives of this republic. I just won't, because I aspire to that position one day. Wouldn't like to be treated like that. However, the program no. Yeah. And I need to say a karma. I need a karma. Let me use my time. And the American say, yeah, program in here. I mean, you use 2 words. Me say eviscerate. So eviscerate and yatem did you. A church ubetunumu. That is the meaning of eviscerate. EVISCERATE. Madam na no friend and your message and buafuno. And yatem did you vice president no. Vice president no a doctor. Sa word not here. And yatem did ye. Another word I'm used to a cocker mammy. Yes, spelling no COCKAMAMIE. Mete sa word no na a president a Barack Obama, Senator Barack Obama, and Senator John McCain. A debate U.S. presidential election 2008. Okay. And Senator John McCain. I can't say Barack Obama ideas. No, see, you know, Barack Obama is full of these cockamamie ideas. me call dictionary munam kono mo si kwaka mami no. And who call dictionary.com near the or see incredible, implausible. Another in a sentence, no, see full of wild schemes and cockamamie ideas, which is precisely what the vice president is. It's not Bremu, please.
Please, can you allow him to explain himself, Bacho?
Okay, so Oba to say the Americano, the vice president is a highly educated person. He understands cockamamie and he knows it's not an insult. You understand? So I'm just saying that the vice president is full of wild schemes and cockamamie ideas. And it is one of those cockamamie ideas that I intend to oh, Mamin Kasei. Listen, I promise you, when you start to talk, I will interrupt you continually. Please. Thank you. I'm saying that the vice president's ideas are cockamamie. That's not an insult. And I have a better idea. Politics is a marketplace of ideas. Now, getting to the point about a China for us is here and an AKWAFO administration. As we mo kwa la la sula la wo mo honum ahwese ye kai do mo no di bi be che me no my position on that no, and he said the president, he should go ahead and go to China and beg them to forgive us. This is because he has no alternative. Because me soprano mo I say no me minister bi am the be president AKWAFO. So I say and now a chrono the obeto ye no there, because there was the reality say time president AKWAFO mobile power no. The economy had gotten back on track to the extent that the Minister of Finance had a kinky party to celebrate the back on board economy. What I say, no man, I saw economy underwater. I'm as say drown. Then if they say they want to go and beg the Chinese people and go on their knees and worship Chairman Xi Jinping and say, I beg you, Mr. White Man, please, I've come from Africa. We are coming to beg. We have run our economy down. We spent all the money bathing in aeroplane and driving Land Cruisers, especially giving one Land Cruiser, one chair, one Land Cruiser, that sort of behavior. It's here, Pamacho say, Sikano, ya wasted Sikano. They said they're not reading it, can you be to a Land Cruiser, you to a watch. Any idea? About 5 minutes now, the man. And see, I want to encourage Nana AKWAFO to go ahead and do. Nana AKWAFO should go ahead and do and act according to the only option left to him, which is to go and beg the Chinese people. Oh, enti said President Kwame Nkrumah there said because our country has gone haywire, so to speak. Sana bro can ya to assume any nanenam any esresre any la la sulala. So we have the men. Send one mabon.
Medase now in last leg ya me pese e bosso tell na fe no soprano opa now the account
evisceration of the vice president.
I know Reverend Kosi Boateng defamation suit against Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa court Akwa 7 so and Emma court director Kosi Boateng lawyers just say Nintia ama Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa accept summons no and I can say rate of summons no one accept no one you sue the right process serve him it were directed the lawyers to go back and serve him right omunyu sue the process and so on be address it to Speaker of Parliament or whatever that process no omo emphasis na omuntimi enkonko serve no na afei so and then asem no mo frey no the constituents Norton constituents they came to the court to support him. Afei Norton chiefs and so makasa on it. Omo de to aban when him said the government should not use the judiciary to gag Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa. No na che madwen kakra because when your first time some time ago as once is that once nyamuntaka national security coordinator here Ashanti region boys be ko pam different in the office. Yadi asem no court to say the omo koye or court one ade echire na me bisa say with this saniema we no etiminya sunsanso bi ewo atemmuo na asem a omo edie no etiminya esunsanso bi wo so ana for how long are we going to practice this kind of the me nkase bi a support no enye anase eye ana bibi etesa but Why do we have to do that? I don't know. As I'm not a court, allow the court to do whatever they have to do. Then there's some issue. He said, don't do this, don't do that. Don't use these people to, do this and also those things. It end me bisa say, it minya repercussions be, impact be, our ruling of the case in this one. In
the first place, the two case of
I'm not comparing, but in a situation like that, whichever way, then go for the mekana busuafo abodom pemani e even vetting. Those kind of things.
Now I'll come to that. In the first place, I mean, I've compared because now illegality where there is what you see. Now it depends on the obi ohono man a relationship with people. Anya papa. Nya asema onu nkwa na eko. Nya abla kwankwa na eko. And this nipa bebre dey bi am. What you see. So it depends personally.
And his human relations.
Yes, and that's an amino. And I mean, so as some to me, nobody can stop you from that. And if I've built a network like yours, say no babe jam kwan, sana sapon, sana awal. Into everybody know who say no dumb. Be a crana and yet directly, but the fact that I say why you say, oh, Hamidan, Yamin Penguin, the new court, Hamidan, so many in time you find, and that will not have any impact on the judgment. But judges go by the book. And then, Udi Bonnie, now I will say a jailua, take for Obia by jailu. The law will work. That has nothing to do with the judge, a kind. Now, me, as a man, Dibia, me be some who say. And you be and ne juma or despite. And tis a menonya asem na assembly air political, not would me call court. From you personal, also have the corporate image to keep. Into be catch HR say, Hamidan last or buy no, or board table no be BM intimate the new court. And your management would advise you to assem no to aso and I say, leave it for the image of the organization. This guy is an employee of Nanado at the Flagstaff House. Nanado, president of Ghana, President Nana Akufo-Addo. This guy works in his office directly under him. Kwesi Boateng. And now, house, I say, is it not Reverend Kwesi Boateng? Or if you want the other name, let's give him that. Maybe he doesn't know that. Maybe Combination Fee is what you know. One. And now, Papi, Eddie. President are fighting against free speech. Papi, I can't say what the member of parliament, to gag him. Is Nanado the president aware? Did he discuss it with him? Is the president trying to gag almost everybody? Last week, our youth organizer, Swami, Obekasa, when we have of audio by seasoned MPP, both executives and big men, saying worse things than what the guy arrested and remanded. And in any case, the impact of what has happened today in the HSA, that is what it means. Because if you send a matter to court, and a judge, or say, why you send a die, as far as he is concerned, nothing is for him. So the impact of the issue is that Asema Kisi Boateng the corner buegu.
Okay.
Into a per se, what's sad in the court, I want some fat a quine for a mra quine and from court. So it's been a Jan Senadai into judge in the BBN the Nimju. Until say Obesa initiative process in for because you should not say.
That's right.
Where a court. You see, Boateng sent him to court. He should not say anything about him until exactly. And no case, say this is a parliamentarian, and when you want to arrest a parliamentarian or you want to bring him to court, we have process. You can serve him through the Speaker of Parliament or through the Clerk of Parliament. Why, yes, sir. Somebody say, and then maybe a member of Parliament, maybe my free Parliament, say, me about a program or ha. No, we share me. I want to know what attack me. You forcefully put that thing on me. Right. That person will use to call. Use the court process. And as far as we are concerned, we are congratulating Okujeto Ablakwa for this year. And what it means is that technically, there's nothing before the court.
Thank you very much, Nuruddin. Awala.
Asemno yembungui. Asemno eyemienu. First one, and it's what wakusiuno say manen kasabio. Kopim say yabe discuss because or revealing ni hun norma bia ompe. Second one is was citing for contempt. Contempt yeno and a call to actually ene. The one fa service papa 17 papa for the contempt into one sound connection na umbe servo, but the substantive case is there. A contempt no and a year you can go to Peace FM online. I'm sure the story is there. A contempt no and you say one papa papa so and a servo honorable Akujeto Ablakwa the contempt. It's not the case. And I make us a case in Yeminu.
We're not talking about the other one.
There is a substantive case. The only case in this
subject matter is this case. And I may catch also could be a lawyer. The lawyer will tell you the court adjourned Senate Dyer. What it means is that there's nothing before
but
the
I have
court.
not said anything in the contrary.
But you are saying assembly will
me say assembly Minu Baku Yabuagu say
it can be 10. But we are not talking about those ones. Everybody knows that we have so many cases. Baku Kwa was right.
So the defamation one.
Yes. No, your friend say contempt no. Say ye di paper no come na butu paper no. And I can say was citing for contempt for treating that court your friend say a document no. And I say there be man for papa swan ko serve no.
So the case die.
How can the case die?
No, say court can say one for papa and serve him for contempt.
Me say obi efa me hun sem ba bonten obi efa me hun sem ba bonten court no and restraining nipa no from say ode me hun sem ba bonten kopim say court no be decide on the case ena ye de paper no e command for the summons no ye de command no ena otietia so ena citing for contempt say obu court animtia because the paper no man no otietia so ena ka say dey one for kwan papa so amfa paper na nkoma no eti sa kwaye ni fufuro eno ano no eti yemfa eno enso wa we your friend saying Reverend Kusibuati is not an employee of the president. He is not onye obi a waji aketua free aban ho yemfa yesika as state entuaneka ye woye no yenja ne sa. That's my point, my view. But say bia o kan say oye board member, board of trustees of your friends saying cathedral no. They are not your friends officials of government. They are just board of trustees of the cathedral. Enye obi a yetua ne ka wo ye employee. Because obi a employee a onye employee of Akufo-Addo. Oye an appointee a obo se na be ya ebetimi aye we no. Cathedral.
Thank you.
Medasi bebre for opportunity no once again.
No, baby, I can view.
Okay, so
because of your time.
Yeah,
okay.
And then you might be able to rebut. So that you can precisely. So Oba Meja MPP ni NDC asem na ma MPP ni NDC for no. So na me can say Vice President never out a couple of weeks ago. So I'm talking about National Rent Assistance Scheme. So now this is because in Ghana, according to Minister Asenso Boachi na House and Mewa, Honorable Asenso Boachi, in February this year, no, was Sisu say Ghana, you were 1.8 million housing deficit. If you are in the Huanka or Hanka, in the Carabina baby atna. According to Vice President Baumia, the National Rental Assistance Scheme, you know, is to make rental accommodation more accessible, affordable, convenient. Okay, I'll not do his homework for him, but I'll get to my solution and my idea, which is superior to him, to the Vice President's idea, in my opinion. And since politics is a marketplace of ideas, I'm open to discussion after I state my idea.
Okay.
So now, me feel say Ghana no so we do not have an accommodation availability problem as much as we have an accommodation accessibility problem. So, in other words, there are more rooms, available rooms in Ghana than we actually need, according to my research. And I looked at the 2021 population housing census. Okay. Now, Ekroma say my research said there are two types of rooms available, or two categories. So, completed rooms, but not for rent. A dine you see dine every, but a dine run on fan. A bini de boga for a CCCC, and a sikafor, millionaires to say vice president, no president of Ghana, Mone, Kennedy Japan, and Kennedy Japan, John Mahama, Lordine, and Mrs. Lordine, amo millionaires, no. Which one CCCC fee? SCC East Legon, over connect to us will be antim. Into those houses are completed, but not for rent. But there are rooms there available, but not for hire. So, most of the owners, omu see on the bank collateral. It be the Airbnb, i.e., omu the high. But now them 2 days we now call. So, and now second type of houses, uncompleted. So what I say, for completed bedrooms, number one. May suggest to say listeners should look at the UK, United Kingdom. Omo lobby or your friend a bedroom tax. Time and inti mean come too much, but bedroom tax briefly almost say one more omo take council flat mo. Make can say mo. I buy na the mount council now team. And until extra bedroom. It was council no more. According to the bedroom tax you pay an extra a bedroom you pay 14% more. So, and or 2 or more, you pay 25% more. So now, Accra, in Cram, under 16 years. A same gender, a MAAME, also mutimi at that buying back. So, we in Cram, under 10 years. Obane Bema also mutimi that dying back. 1 bedroom for anyone 16 years plus, and as a couple, also in that dying back. Okay, but no sancro for no. Omuji council flat if we government. So, and he says, the American say. For uncompleted houses, By the way, Vice President Bawumia say ne rent plan or the 30 million Ghana cedis per only 30 million Ghana. And what they boa and Crawford also the
seed and seed money.
And one quite be able to 30 million per and what the man saw the badge, I'm say $5,000 and I be at $30,000. Okay, but anyway, the point in say or say moi muye juma e formal and informal. Verifiable job. Ghana for saying anywhere juma papa guaranteed every month. And I'm a debate. Maybe solution in the say number one. For rooms now completed may suggest to say as we are having this discussion on having a better rental policy for Ghana we should consider a bedroom tax for a sikafo fee na see because Mimi area for instance say Mimi opposite boga bia we see ni fie for the past 10 years on metinemu if you need your kron
on security
security independent woman is such a person yes say who are dying da ho
no mo this offense property rate na buy
I'm making me a point here the me can say dying na e yawo dia no say bia I see one now emu dying we wi a won fan han no yes say one person or the dying high me plan no I say then the government should consider imposing a small tax which will be used to build stuff like Saglemi, affordable housing. But, and yes, I are fine. A dana kauno, would they hire Unyaska, government, eberty tax, and yeska, property taxes, Nina, baby ada. So now, Obias pressure on accommodation will come down, rent beba from. Number 2 solution, any uncompleted houses, Instead, say Vice President, Nisi what did 30 million cedis, as a seed money, What I am proposing is that they should set up a construction bank. Now, uncompleted houses are Ghana Hanumo. You buy busia now they complete on condition that you rent out to start paying off the loan. Yes, sir, because you ain't baby a titiano uncompleted new baby. Say it me boa musia. It saves the government having to go and acquire land and all the processes to build Saglem, you know, we drew halfway, or the catches we need to our my family and friends. So this is what I mean when I say that I have a better idea than the vice president's wild and cockamamie ideas. And this is not an insult. It is just that the vice president's ideas are wild and cockamamie, especially so I can't say watch $1. No, that is a wild idea.
Thank you very much. But your quick one.
I mean, this why Bibia cry one take rental now. It's just why
and then Pacho outside. No,
yes, Debbie.
Because of my time.
Kids Webby. Yes, say. Obi yanka say your room deficit in tina ye de rental scream no ba.
But there's a 1.8 housing
deficit. And your room deficit na ye. Obi okuma say. Yeah, be despite who say oh nipa you or your friends saying Hello FM. Wo ya de send e fa we kofa na ya okese mobile. Wo ya de o ba kra abeye adwuma Peace FM. Na ketua 2000 cedis. O ba ye no okoji dan ewo achimota no. Ye si ombetua 10,000. Onu na katua ne 2000 no ontimi nya 10,000 ntua aban se me ma 10,000 ne se ne be abusumi bia obetua oba enu ko a o
ba mini akwa de no ye no o fa no to ba no e be de wonye tete my plan solves the problem for them.
You don't even have the plan because when TDA can say yeah can say
solves it for rich people.
Okay, rich people.
Vice President is going for election. He wants a way to get money.
Yes. Mami chirem. Akwa free Hello FM ba no. Wanya dan ewo your friends say Achimota. Busumi you betimi ayi be 300 cedis atua. Bare ka se on for 10,000 mra onya. Eti aban say on rent master say ka bom. Apply. Eti 300 na obetimi atua no. Kotua to account yen be kotua rent now.
And does it go for everybody?
Everybody our year for now a pilot into ye everybody sika fo nko omo ye adwuma enya ban adwuma nko abata bia just despite say ye tua ne ka
nipa say ne nyata ye no okuro
but omo sukuna no omo problem e say bo omo exactly e say bo omo
vice president ba
omo hia
akoji busia
o tie se kura o si de okara
na woji no ontimi ntua afi de ono so be ma obi busia
Debbie nye busia ye di hide ama no
omo say ya o
untia se na o ka do sa
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Awal Mohammed, Nuruddin Hamidan, and Sylvester Sapon Soprano. Wamada Romana, ye ombeboyama, ye bon como. Mamim phone lines into Mukakra for an Amistrofa Chame, na Mima, Metia phone Sumremuka Krebi and Sana, Masoriso. Hello, good afternoon.
Fine afternoon.
Epacho dini baby Afrifi.
Ajani muni katefu from Koberia.
Ejani yanko.
Advance alesi ya kan yedi na menchemo fa bo cheja conform energy. Yami kan nyina ne se tache mo de se mo trust na mo kan because employer sumi ba rent you know. Eje so me kan wa tem gi pa. Na bia mo kan no mi se yi mo kan yi. Se free kwa men kuma pe so me ti abre wi. Se nje me mo kan. Panodo pa ku Mami kuma tane ni pa ya hin na wo ma we. Na ni pa ya hin. Na ye region na ko dura hin. Ndi ba ko fo betinya kan ni ma miensa bo mu aye ho adwuma. Na san ko yeso wa na di brem ni be ma no. Ndi ye yi fo nya dom kaka no na yi.
That's it. Hello, good afternoon. Eba chodi ni baby Afrifi.
Yen na was ka Afrifi dan so mai.
Yenko.
Mambia ma menyo wa fidi kedi ma minche ma mi for sena minta. Na mambia ma men kanche o my Ghana mo my Ghana gina hu se education ya dan ko ku for de ba ya no. E ya dia aha NDC ko papa. Esa se e bedroom e dia enkola no obi na mini ma wo o mo be hu de ko no ma gina ho. Mambia ma education ba mi na no uska 2019 then coming in your education because ya mambia man coming new year secondary school every time you year school no school train at me Modern high atromi, Attention school atromi, and KT atromi. But after me for that year, I started high school, maybe my go school. I did transfer for a school because of school fees. And Papa Yara means me again. But no, I never pay your school fees. I must school fees free. And this is what wrong with Tom Capao. I'm my master, my Ghana. And this is 1 year ago, and it's my Ghana. And I was going to offer.
May I say hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. But you didn't be afraid. Original echo.
Mambo kwenye suna mema chumne kusia fo yako. Yazi we ni mama kasa anja tentino. Ukuja tablo ka mu di kakra. Na yana edie na yana ye yan fofo no. Ide mi use ayin fofo no sisi no ayese enkola kra mu ye mo bakra no ye empia. Na omu di tine na ase na ase sikase ni ade. Ube kaise me she sister TV station bi. One of the angel omu nteri ma mi se edi be ndino na waka jesu woni ni ndi a woye de wo ha so wabo ko janko ari aba be gina ho na me bomba ye ze omu sa afrika na asuja fo omu be gina no mu ye de ma mu nye ja wo mo na Ghana court no enyi omu dia nyina no ne de boye ho ban omu de na mu du kujeta braka to kujeta braka no obi ma mu bi anga dada on fa ma mu kujeta braka ko toka
Medasi pi. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello,
Me pa chodini baby afrefi.
I'm bolo sini katafi abokobi.
Yenko.
Na me MPP ni NDC. Ya so MPP ahwe ya so NDC ahwe. Nkamili ya me mum ba de kai. Nya individual person bi obeba na ko ba be Ghana adi Ghana maya. Kamili mi gidi se. Nka ya pa because de bia nyum ba ko MPP for 20. Anyum na so the NDC for so to. Kenya individual person bi onu gire mu 50 ya oba be Ghana maya nke se nke ochira buso no so na nkwa onu so bai onu so na ese onu na yire ajayi so ho nke onu na eba beta na onu so na ese waja na yire waja wo yire ya obere na wabe president wow
Hey, I'm Ghana for when we are in woman in yourself. Medase. Hello, good afternoon.
MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO.
That's it. Major so we didn't be
Orubo kwesibu ate nkantamanto.
Orubo yankwe.
MAAME nyankopon nhyira mo panelist a omo wo se bi ho nyina. Ana wo so so bodwuma eni am nhyira ho. MAAME we dey seconds na why brain no e konti. Me papa Buachi eja akon. Former energy minister. Ono na 2024 MPP4 din ba live. Buachi eja akon. Papa wonmu de na president ba fatao. Ono na e ko delegate montoma no. MAAME matma me kan say. Me papa okujata block oye minim papa o Ghana ha papa. COVID baye no dimirika no ko e me won want take die wa anko. Take die de me won anko as wa anko. Minim do. E wi aso ye minim o ye sia die jawo. En papa okujato a tobo. Me de ai policy bia MPP for the bia na ye na communication na any weak. Communication na any weak. Enti me say ba o mi ase o de nima di ba o mi church mo na ye go school ni ate afie 11 years ba en ka boa ana o man ye na vetri ya church mu yie ana vetri NDC for to tubu mo sala vetri stam enti o de policy di ba o mo
medase pi. I was young for honey and cousin na besie me din at the MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO production crew Joe Damia do Magjerio Sarge my friend ma and anana ya safu adaru mono bom chi do MAAME djumedi bae me sorry so la Michael eba beje dwaje entata e de yen akofie nyame ya dom a ye besan hie bio makra